button. Okay, let us see if we can get this pulled up. Hey everybody, I'm Yvonne with Back to Earth Creations and welcome to today's live stream. We have quite a few new things going on today that I'm excited to share with y'all. But first, let me get this live stream pulled up on my phone so that I can read the comments as well. You'd think I'd have figured out how to do that by now. Oop, there we go. Excellent. And then I'll set that right there. And I'm going to set it to all messages. There we go. Hey, Krishna, how's it going? Hey, Kay. This has been a very good Monday so far. So I do want to start with, we have added some new items to the shop. We have added our leaf masks, like this one here, that I think are just super cool. These are hand-tooled vegetable tanned leather that we dyed and painted and did the wet molding on and everything. And they're a lot of fun, but those have been added to the shop. And then, hey, Steffi Joe, in today's live stream, we're going to be making a dragon mask that hopefully Randy and I will be able to make molds of, and then we can sell them possibly in time for Halloween. So, hey, Viking, how are all y'all doing today? And that's another thing. We're running a little late today. Normally, I wanted to do my Monday live streams at noon, but somebody set up my entire camp kitchen in my living room, like in the front craft room. And I had to, it was me. That was me that did that. But it was awesome. I am so excited for the camp along, and I had to get the kitchen put together as kind of like a mock booth setup, but for our kitchen. And it's phenomenal. It let us know where we had some gaps. Like I had no idea I was out of propane. And there was something else. Oh, and like we're missing like 2 of our camping lanterns. So it gives us time before the camping trip to remedy that. But I'm really, really excited. Haley does it. Hey, Viking. Hey, Steffi Joe and Krishna. Oh, well, thank you guys. I love these masks, actually. Let me go ahead and try one on for y'all just because I think they're so pretty. And we have them in a couple of different leather tones. So they just go right on over your face. And then there's 2 strings that you just pull on. And that cinches it down just as nice and tight as what you would like it. And these pin, like we could use like bobby pins or what have you to be to get them to like all stabilized and stuff. But you can see it's pretty cool just like exactly as is. And I could do like a different makeup look if I wanted to be like more blended, or I don't know, like, and it layers really well with other like horns and crowns and stuff also. So I think that's pretty cool. Hey Pro, how's it going? But yeah, we have, I think 7 of these masks is probably all we're going to get made this season. They have all been listed up on the website. Which I really should have put that in the newsletter. I think Randy and I are still mentally recovering from DragonCon and going to Texas to see family, which everyone is doing well. Randy's mama is beating cancer's butt, and it was really nice to get to see her and make her some soup and just get to like hang out. And she's being taken fantastic care of down there, so that's really, really good. But so that trip, we're home from that, and now we're ready to get back onto the road for this weekend for our 2nd annual camp along with Randy Vaughn in the woods, which it's turning into the lamp along in the woods. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, and I'm going to bring this up a couple times through the stream as new folks trickle in. But if any of y'all are interested in a very cool mask, be sure to check us out at backtoearthcreations.com, and we'll get that shipped out to you. It is really awesome, Pro. So how have y'all been doing? What have you been up to? It says, can't wait to see you guys. Right? Same. Oh, I'm like giddy with excitement. So I've been sculpting this out of Cos clay, which is that rubberized polymer clay. It's this stuff. And that's a really cool dragon that's sculpted. Oh, that's so neat. It says you bake it at 275 Fahrenheit for 30 minutes per quarter inch. And it functions very similarly to like just regular old polymer clay, but whenever you've baked it, it's very flexible. And so it's hard to break it, which is nice. Sarah says, oh, happy Monday and happy lunchtime. Hey, Sarah. Propolis is not much, just got over a sinus infection, so back to working on the house and crafts. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better. Hey, Amy, it's a very good Monday today. Like, I can actually, I'm going to show you guys just real quick. And it's been raining. This is the first time we've had any sort of substantial rain in what feels like over a month. Like, it's been at least a month, I think, since we had any sort of, I haven't been home much, but what a doozy of a month. So yeah, this was my living room this morning. Like that's my bead desk. So we set up like the cooler and the jackery and like basically did it and like whipped out the tape measure and we're like, will this fit under a 10 by 10? But this is our new kitchen table that I am super excited about, with that like our camp stove and then like and then the next picture, oh, so that's where we just showed you. And then this was like wrapping around. So yeah, like the whole living room, like the whole front craft room was completely taken over. And I'm just so excited because I think we're going to be not catering for 14 or 15 people because I forgot about our friend Betsy. She's going to be coming as well. We do it says you get to meet my husband Jim this year, and Shadow is coming. Oh, that'll be so nice to see Shadow again. Oh, very cool. All right, let me get YouTube pulled back up. That way I can see the comments. So yeah, let's get right back to sculpting. This is going to be this is just our work day for the rest of the day. We should have been doing like a shop update and stuff today, but and we did. We added a few new masks, and I'm really excited about that. Thank you to all the new follows. We are in official drought here, no burning anything. Grass is dry and brown, so I'm envious of the rain. You know, and I was worried as well, and I had been checking the Devil's Den website because I really wanted to make sure that we'd be able to actually have a campfire. And so far, it looks like northern Arkansas is going to be okay. And they do expect a little bit of rain that weekend. So if you guys are coming to the camp along, be sure to bring the rain flies for your tents. We're looking at, like, we've consulted with a friend about one of their easy ups to see if they'll be able to bring it. And then Sarah says, I'm wearing the same top. I love this amethyst tie-dye, right? I totally dig it. It came out, I kind of like it personally. I kind of like it a little bit better on the white base because the more subtle hues of like the hyacinth and lilac came through on that really nicely. But I'm digging it on this like dusty purple base, especially here on the hem. You might be able to see those colors, the way that like they translated through. Like that was just so cool. So good taste, Sarah. But yeah, I was worried about Arkansas being in a drought. Okay, so we got to do the eyeballs on this thing today. On this thing. I need to get a towel. I'm going to go grab a towel because it needs a pillow because I don't want to crack the head open. I'm sculpting today on a glass head that we had gotten, I think, at like Pier 1 Imports. But I like it because I can sculpt it. I can sculpt on it and then just pop it directly into the oven. And sometimes I prefer to use polymer clay over monster clay because I'm still kind of learning with monster clay. So polymer clay is very much in my comfort zone, is a good way to put it. I want to move all these balls, these little roly-polies that I've been making, because this is how the scales start. Is I just roll out, I condition my polymer clay, which y'all will be pleased to know I did off camera. That way you're not gonna have to watch me pass it through the pasta machine like 40 times. And just kind of stacking, getting situated. All right, and now our little head has a little pillow, maybe. There's gotta be a better way to do this. We're gonna scooch the camera over, and this should give us a pretty good idea of what we're working on. Kay says that glass head is so cool and it's oven safe. It hasn't exploded in the oven yet, so I'm going to take that as oven safe, but I am very, very careful with it. Like, I put it in the oven's preheated, but then I set this in there, and whenever I'm done baking, I turn the oven off and open the door and let the head just sit in there and cool slowly. That way, hopefully there'll be less risk of it like shocking. Hey Anne, how's it going in the Isle of Wight? Bye, Laura. Okay. Well, now y'all can see it pretty well, but I can't see her very well at all. I'm gonna scooch this down this way. Like that. Okay. So I've baked this. I've built this up a few layers. We did the base of the mask and then baked it because I had done a little protrusion of the nose, and then we added on more of the nose and baked it. And so I have these newest dots haven't been baked, and I like doing the multiple layers of baking because whenever we press these little nubs in to make the scales, if some of the areas have already been baked, then it really lets it smush in and around, like, so I don't have to worry about distorting the pre-existing scale. And I like it because if I can try stuff, and if I don't like how it looks, then it's no problem at all for me to just scrape off the new addition of the clay. Yeah, I'm not going to do any more until I get the eyeballs established. Hey, Tashers. Oh, I'm doing really well today. How have you been? Thank you for joining us in today's live stream. And I'm gonna add in, I know I just said I wasn't gonna do any more until I did the eyes, but I'm like kind of scared to do the eyes. I don't know why. I'm just experiencing inhibitions. So I'm going to procrastinate. It's like procrastinating, but craftier, by working on a different spot until I am forced to face it, essentially. Okay, yeah, I like that one there. Coming around town. Okay, says safety first. Is it contained in case of unfortunate occurrence? That'd be a really good idea. But no, I was just going to shop vac a bunch of broken glass out of my oven. But yeah, I could probably put it on a cookie sheet or something just to try to keep it from exploding everywhere. Anne says, wet and dreary, but I've just had a week in a very hot Spain, so it shouldn't moan. Ooh, how is Spain? Tasha says, doing okay, snuggling in comfy clothes with my crochet while I wait for this cold to bugger off. Oh man, I'm sorry you have a cold. That sucks. I hope it's not too bad. Like, I hope it's just bad enough to be like, nap. Hey, Salty Winch, how are you doing? Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to sit here. This is going to be a 2-hour-long live stream of me just petting, giving this dragon mask a facial massage. All right. So I extruded an extrusion of this clay. And I want to look something up. And it's going to be on my own Instagram. But it's going to be one of our old Dragon Eye pictures. Because it was a sculpture that I had done for a friend. And oh my gosh, I'm just going, we're going to scroll together, y'all. It was a sculpture we had done for a friend. And I kind of wanted the eyes to be like that. And I love using my older work as like a reference image to be like, how can I recreate that? Okay, so here, this right here, you guys, is a really good example of the tentacles that I want to do on this mask. So if you can, those tentacles but on these, like the tentacle suckers. So that's the kind of detail that I wanted to add to that one, but that one was a prototype. So let's see, we're gonna keep scrolling. It's gotta be in here somewhere. We've been doing this a minute, y'all, haven't we? Ooh-wee. Still scrolling. Maybe we're coming up on it. This is back whenever we first got into lampwork glass. Years and years ago at this point. Which I do really like using Instagram. Oh, yeah. Okay. So those we had just sculpted for in the booth. And I really like the layering and the little dots. So there's that one. And let us scroll back through a little further, perhaps. There's another example of some of the tentacles. A blurry example of some of the tentacles. We got to see him again at DragonCon. It had been literal ages. Oh, my Callie cat, my sweet baby. Where on earth is this dragon? Okay, I probably show this to you guys every time, but I was like, get you a girl that can do both. Where in the heckins? Oh, Sam Dog, you sweet baboo. He's my good man. My friend Taylor, my friend Laura. Where's my dragon eyes? Here it is. Okay, so on this one, I really liked the layering and the gradation of the dots. So that's kind of going to be what I'm trying to recreate around the eyes on this one. And I really like how we did the tentacle with the texture added to it. Okay, so I had found what I am looking for. I am at peace now. Panda Hall 90%. Uh-oh, I don't need more stuff. Uh-oh, Panda Hall. Slowly getting better, trying to finalize my order for Panda Hall 90% off sale. Right. Oof. Thank you, Tashers. I'm very excited about this mask. So I'm going to start with this extruded piece, and I'm just going to place this there and bring this around. And I'm just going to snip that off with my finger, and then I'm going to lift it off. And I want to make these two, because they're already more or less the exact same thickness. The extruder is pretty good about that. As long as I'm like light-handed with it, then I don't really have to worry as much. Set that off to the side. I'll get situated like eventually, you guys, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. And then just roll in this like that. Oh, I'm so excited for this camping trip. Like, Randy and I watched a 2-minute and like 30-second long glamping video that was like from some music festival. But a lot of really good campsites. It took us an hour and a half to watch this 2-minute long video, you guys, because like every single campsite, I'd pause it and we'd be like picking apart, like looking at all of the different things. I think both of us are very interested in getting like inflatable chairs for camping. And I don't know, do any of y'all have experience with like inflatable camping chairs? Because I really like bringing stuff with structure, because it's really nice to have, you know, like especially in the kitchen, we have like those 3 collapsible countertops that are like, I've camped lots with just a kitchen table on the ground or on a picnic bench or on a 6-foot table, but that's what let me know that I wanted these really, like, to me, really nice bougie glamping kitchen counter, like I think it's by like GSI Outfitters or something, but it's nice. Like one of them's got a built-in sink. I'm going to do a whole video tour over on the Vonster vlog of the kitchen whenever we get it all set up, because I think we'll be able to do that. But I'm so excited. I can't wait to go camping. It's kind of Randy and I's little like reward for ourselves for surviving DragonCon. All right. So I'm going to use my boobs to hold the mask down. And let's see if we can, because I don't want to make the eye holes too small. And I found cosplay is pretty good about just sticking to itself. I needed to pinch just a little bit off of there. All right, let's see. Oh, and this is the texture one that I like to use. Hey, Saki girl, how's it going? And now smush, squish, immediate texture. There we go. Just using the edge of this to make sure that's nice and so now you can see there's a difference between texture and no texture. Saki girl says, going good here. How are you doing? We're doing really well. Like, it was a bit of a crazy morning because I had set up the camp kitchen in the main craft room, like what used to be our living room, front room area. I don't even know anymore. Front craft room, but it was everywhere because it's a 10 by 10 camping kitchen setup. So we did a little bit of like a mock booth setup, but for the camp kitchen. And then we went to bed. And so I had to like tear it all back down this morning, which did not take very long, but it was a little bit more of a chaos kind of morning than what I anticipated. Hey, Cat and Cauldron. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so excited with how this one is coming out. Which, just to let everybody know, we do have some different leather masks up for sale on our website, backtoearthcreations.com. And these are very likely to be the only 7 of this style of mask that gets made this season. So perfect for Halloween, perfect for like home decor or early Christmas shopping. Good thing I tagged them because I just mixed up the order. Okay. Do I like that? Because if I don't, since the first layer was already baked, we can just flump, take it off. Because I think I want to do something here. So I'm just going to roll those 2 balls and set them off to the side. So I'm going to take this long extrusion of clay and I'm going to roll it like this. Cat and Cauldron says, I so wish I could join y'all camping maybe next year. That would be so cool. And we're going to keep working our way. Like, we hope to camp each of the 50 states. So next year we're thinking about either Wisconsin or Illinois. And then I don't know where we're going to camp the year after that. I'm pretty sure in like, when's the next full like totality solar eclipse? I think that happens in 2055. That's when we're going to be camping in South Dakota I don't know if we could get to where we do this twice a year. That'd be incredible. But we'll see. Okay, so I just want to experiment with seeing how it looks with like a little bit of like a textured scale ridge coming down the nose this way. Hey, Patty. Patty says, Yvonne, how did your dragons do at DragonCon? They did awesome. Like, it went so well at DragonCon this year, and there was a whole lot of ways that every year that it could not go well, and so just that it was another year that went really well, I was very pleased. We got a scare right off the bat on Thursday when our niece and her mama were driving in. They got rear-ended in a hit and run, but they are okay. The car is okay and like drivable. Insurance is taking care of everything. Like, other than it just not happening at all, it went as well as it possibly could have. So after that, everything felt like such a blessing just to have everybody be okay. We got what's it called? Ozone poisoning on Wednesday. And so I was really afraid that I was going to be like coughing and not able to talk all weekend because like it was burning so bad in my throat. and I couldn't draw deep breaths, but it's because the Verbo we were in had an ozone thing like going to like get rid of smells or something. I don't know. For whatever reason, that's what was going on, and it was horrible. Like, but we were able to stay in a different place. Like, it was horrible to have that happening, but it was so easily resolved. Like, it was fine the next day. And then so that was Wednesday, and then Thursday. Friday we started selling, and it just was an absolute blur. It's so nice to have Maddie and Amy in the booth, and then the group that we like are good friends with World of Strange, and their helpers that we room with at Dragon are like so chill, and like we all mesh really well. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful, and we're very glad to be home. We're very refreshed and rejuvenated, but still taking it very easy because we got sick with con crud. I'm gonna have to do something about the tippy tip of this nose because it's getting weird. Randy got con crud, and then I got con crud from Randy, and so we were like sickies for like a week and a half. But it's always so nice when we're sick together because neither of us are working. We just spend all day like on the couch, like trying to not die. Like, it's great. Oh, Salty says I won't be here in 50 years when you do get to California. Oh no. And I have to say I missed you on Kick. It's good to see the routine getting back to normal again. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain what normal is going to look like moving forward for us. But I'm kind of excited to find out. So we'll keep you guys posted as we move forward. Our only guaranteed live stream each week until further notice is on Mondays. And I'm going to aim for noon, but it might happen. Like today, we didn't start streaming until 2, but it's just there's enough stuff going on in our personal life that it's like we kind of needed that schedule to open up. So but yeah, we'll send out newsletter notifications for that, and we're just trying to get our feet back and under us and kind of figure out, instead of forcing ourselves to adhere to our old normal, which was getting pretty exhausting to keep up with. Like, I mean, I don't feel like I'm not a spring chicken until I try to keep up with what me 10 years ago was doing. And I'm like, girl, I'm tired. So we're going to kind of figure out where our new normal is and then just kind of go from there. Hey, Silver. Silver Sky Dragon says, hello, the mask looks so pretty so far. Well, thank you so much. I'm very excited about it. And we're going to just turn it this way and move the camera a bit. And I'm going to be using this little sculpting end to, I just want to drag down like this side. It's really, I'm having, hence the quotes on normal, gotcha. If y'all need a different camera angle or anything like that, do please let me know because I'm really bad at keeping up with that sometimes. Y'all, it's so nice with the rain. Like the whole world smells like a wet dog right now. Just our whole neighborhood, that's just the aroma. But I love it, the humidity I have missed. And so I'm just trying to get this little gap sculpted down just to get it blended. And I'm not filling in this gap here around the eye hole because that's where we're going to be doing, I think, some really cute little like scales. So I think I'm actually going to drag that off to the side and then we can blend it down. And so now I'm transferring to where now we're blending in on this other side. Just getting it smushed and connected. Partially for everything being joined and fused together well, and also because I want this line to look more narrow than what it was. And sometimes I'll get a buildup on my tool and I just smush that off onto some scrap clay off to the side. This is another reason why I really like baking this, in like phases, because now I don't have to worry about messing up my clay that's already on there. I can kind of be a little more free and haphazardous in my sculpting. Now these guys haven't been baked, so I gotta be careful. Vaughn was sorry to hear about the family member health issues, sending healing energy to you and your whole family. Thank you so much, Kat. These things happen, and it is what it is, but thank you. Like, I kind of don't really know how to be helpful or what to do with myself about it, so it's trying to be there and be as undemanding as possible and as supportive as possible to the people in the family who need it. And it's just kind of, I've never had like an illness in a family not be an immediate tragedy before. So it's like, I'm kind of like, soup? And that seems to be the right thing to do in this situation. So that's good. Like, there's not really, I don't know if there's like a manual or something on how to do this right. I don't know. I don't think there's a right way of doing it. And I just hope I don't mess up, I guess, and make things worse, or I don't know. I just want to be there for Randy. Oh, thanks, Kat. Okay, so now I'm using a little, like a 3mm ball stylus to blend out that texture into, I really liked texturing the base mask, and I've textured each layer because I can always smooth it out and make it look nice and perfect at the end, but this gives me an increased surface area that our layers of clay, in theory, are going to be like building very nicely, binding to each other very nicely, layer by layer. Right on. That's good advice. Kat says, don't worry, there isn't a wrong way to be supporting. Just being available and loving is the best. Ooh, and you leveled up to level 8. So here you can kind of see, it's upside down, but you can see the before and after that blending effect. Ooh, and we should totally try to like smoosh this into in between the crevices maybe? Or should we do a little stippling? Yes, the stippling will give it a nice, oh, that's going to be so cool. Okay. I don't know that this is going to, I don't know. I'm going to try. We'll see how it goes. I was hoping it would kind of mesh more, but this will be fine. There's no right or wrong way to sculpt a dragon. And that's kind of what I like about sculpting fantasy creatures, is there's not like, oh, you did that wrong. That's not how dragons look. It's like, that's how this dragon looks. Boo. So, hey Lisa, how's it going? Hi, hi, hi. Are you giving the poor thing acne? Yes. I'm just doing a little bit of stippling because that's going to look really cool, I think, when it's dry brushed. That little bit of texture. And I'm doing this to give contrast to a lot of the scales don't have texture. So the scales themselves, a lot of them are quite smooth. And so this way it'll give us a nice contrast. So now we get to try to do the same thing that we just did, but on the other side. And that helps me a lot to remember what tools I used, because then the shape of the tool, oops, didn't make a bump with the microphone. Maybe if I move you all there, how's that? Can you all still hear me okay? Hey, Old Red Dragon. Hey, Quiet. Georgia Suburban Homestead says, did you see the video I just released featuring you? I saw the one of you unboxing the dragon head, and I'm so glad it arrived safely. You had me so nervous. But I don't know if that's the one that you mean. And then, yeah, we wrote fragile on every surface and packed it as tight as we could. I think we're gonna have to like figure out how to make our own like expanding air bubbles, or like gallon bags full of air, or something, like Ziploc bags full of air as a DIY shipping bubbles. I could just pack balloons in there, like just a bunch of balloons. I don't know, that might not work. Well, thank you so much for the shout out, Lisa. Okay, so this one is not as straight as the other. There we go. Just took a little smushing and squishing. And so I'm trying to make sure that I do it evenly on each side. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And now, ooh, do you have an impulse sealer? Is that like a freezer vac, like a vac seal for like freezing meat in bags in the fridge? Yes, this is polymer clay. Ooh, Quiet says, what clay are you using? Is it okay for sensitive skin? I consider myself sensitive skin, and I have had zero problems working with Cos clay with no gloves. It is a polymer clay. It's just a rubberized polymer. So whenever you bake it, it's super duper flexy, which is really nice. Especially you don't want little bits of your masks just cracking off. And then I'm going to be lining the masks with like felt, or if we're going to kind of figure it out as we go. If somebody doesn't like the felt, we may be able to do like a suede or something. But I just wanted, or even like foam. I just wanted something that would make it be a little less like having, I don't know, like you know how if your hands get sweaty when you're wearing nitrile gloves or something, like rubber gloves. I didn't want that to be happening on the inside of the mask. So I was thinking if we did like felt or something, that would be like a nice, not sweaty way of attaching it to your face. Hey Al, how's it going, Canes Chains? All right, so we're gonna get in here and just start kind of using this tool like it's a teeny tiny fingy, like a little finger, that we're just coming through and blending this line. And just smushing and squishing and sculpting polymer clay. Yeah. It's a lot of fun to play with. Is there a product that is like spray foam that you use? Oh, there is a product that is like spray foam that you use to form around the item. That's brilliant. That's like exactly what we need, and that would look way more professional than I just tape the whole skull to like one of the sides of the box. And it's like in a whole bunch of like bubble wrap, like a not bubble wrap, but like a foam bubble wrap. Couple of foam pieces to raise slight away from face, maybe and allow air circulation to stop the sweat. That's a good idea, Quiet. That's a really good idea. Because I'm especially thinking folks have like the cartilage and like cheekbones and stuff. Like not everybody's face is glass head shaped. So I figured having like maybe like a 2mm foam or something like felt that has a little bit of compression to it that might be able to sit comfortably and be accommodating of different face sizes and shapes and preferences. And so we're just blending this down, and I'm not in frame. Be sure to holler at me, y'all, if you're watching live and I'm not in frame. That really helps me to know, because otherwise I'll get yelled at in the comments when it's no longer live anymore, and there's not really anything that I can do post, production. I can't go back in time and make myself be in frame yet. Dragon Con was awesome. It was awesome. It was a lot of stress, but it was also amazing. So I'll take it. And we survived. That's my favorite part. Okay, so now I'm just blending this down again. And don't forget, if you're working on your own dragon mask and it's not coming out the way that you want, since we baked this in a couple of different stages, you can just scrape off whatever you've just added. I'm saying this to myself as much as I'm saying it to you because I don't know if I like this yet. But we can scrape it off and just kind of go from there. Oh, I don't like it. Okay. We're going to do something, and it's going to be awesome, but just give me a sec. So I'm actually just going to peel all of this off. Swamp and swamp. Not the end of the world. It's okay. It's polymer clay, and we are playing and having fun. So even though we are also technically working, and Mama's got bills to pay, so I need this to be good, but we're playing and having fun. Oh, thank you, Silver Sky. I'm really glad that we had a good dragon. We needed it. And it was so great to meet everybody and hang out. Ooh, hey Misty Cherie, how's it going? Misty says maybe those foam or silicone pads for eyeglasses. Now that's a good idea too. Y'all, that's brilliant. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I want to fill in with dots, and then we'll do the straight line edge. I'd love to be crafting along, but my 50-year-old man cat Timidicus has decided it's snuggle time. Management has spoken. Oh, Timidicus, that's amazing, Tasha. Oh, Misty, we're doing really well. We'll take it. Don't want to be a choosy beggar. But I'm just so excited in anticipation for the camp along at Devil's Den. It's not too late. If anybody watching wants to come and hang out with us, we are camping at Devil's Den, Arkansas, this Friday through Sunday. We're having a potluck at our campsites, campsite 8 or 6. We booked 2 because we wanted there to be enough space to host everybody, since they didn't have a pavilion that we could just show up at. We'd have to rent it, and I was like, no, we'll do it at our campsite. Hopefully we'll live to regret it, or not to regret it, actually. But up in the primitive area is where we're going to be having a potluck at 4 p.m. And it's just going to be, if it's anything like how it was last year, it's going to be freaking awesome. So there is a little bit of rain in the forecast, I think either on Thursday or Friday. So Randy and I are certainly going to be having our rain fly on our tent just in case. So now I get to try to use my massive human fingers to put these little dots. So do you see how we're just building those dots around? And I'm going to try to make the dots be in a little bit of a line. And then we can, I think this is going to be good. Ah! Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Sasaki. That's a cool name. Jealous. Hope the camp along goes wonderful. If I lived closer, I'd consider it for sure. Well, we're going to try to hit a different state every year. So hopefully we'll eventually be closer to you. And I think that'll be fun. Because it's the United States, North America is so beautiful. We have so many different biomes, and just within a couple hours drive, you're in a completely different looking area. Now it's still got the same, Dollar General hiding in the bushes, but the topography and like the climates and stuff, it's really beautiful. And I really want to travel more and get to see and experience more of what nature has to offer. Oh, you're good. Hey, Vaughn, are you open to letting me pick your brains after you get done with your live today? We're not available after our live stream today. I'm sorry. Cash for sort. Right on. I'll try to remember that. Can y'all send me good luck? Says our home has mold. Oh no, and landlord getting surveyed, and if he finds more, we have no home, and there's no homes here on island. Oh my gosh. Oh, quiet. Good luck to you. Oh goodness. Hey Angie, how's it going? She says, hi, Yvonne and folks. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Okay, so I'm gonna, some of these little nubs, these little, what did we call them earlier? Just little rounds of clay that we've prepped. Some of them I'll cut in half to try to get them to both be the same size. It's very good to be on. Moving forward until otherwise, we're going to be streaming on Mondays for certain, and then the rest of our streams will be a little impromptu just because we've got a lot of stuff going on in our personal life that hopefully, I think everything's going to be okay, but it's we're not going to be able to keep up with our previous streaming schedule. So it's really nice to be able to only have the one day a week that we have to be home, that we have to be streaming. And you know, and I say it like that, but really it's nice to make sure that I still at least have one day a week to get to stream and hang out with y'all. And so here you may be able to see, let's see if zooming in might be of any help. By having the nasal ridge baked already, it's much easier to kind of smush in those little niblets in between. Like, that's perfect. I love that. It didn't quite do that the way that I wanted over here, but that'll be fine. So we're going to take another little nubby and we're going to cut it in half. And there's this, and then I'm going to go like, I'll smush that on there. And smush that on there. There we go. And then I'm gonna move on to the next spot. I always love seeing you live, but you have to take care of you first. Yeah. And I appreciate y'all being so understanding. But I'm hoping that like today I'm basically gonna be live streaming until we get a call. And then Randy will let me know and I'll have to go. But I basically will get to, like, we're kind of on call today. Like, everything's all right, but I knew I'd be able to at least be able to stream from 2 until 4 today. So it's just being there for family right now. So everything's okay, but I can't just be streaming quite as much as what we used to. Because I figured instead of trying to be consistent and promising folks that we'd be there on Fridays and Saturdays as well, we'll see how it goes. Tasha says, oh man, you have such steady hands. Really? Okay. Well, whenever I try to do itty bitty stuff, my hands just know and get twitchy. Oh, do they? I guess I'm lucky, but I'm also just kind of, and just, it lands wherever it lands, or I'll squish it over. Okay, so let's see. So I think that's going to flesh out. So now if we do that ridge, but it has me wondering if I might not be able to do my super sturdy stable. This isn't going to work. Unless, no, that's not going to work. I may end up doing the little squish nubs around the eyes first. And so I'm just going to try to build from one side to the next. And I feel like the closer to the center of the mask it is, the more I want, I really want the symmetry to be happening here in the center, whereas out on the edges of the mask, I'm still aiming for symmetry, but if it's not symmetrical, I'm not super worried about it. Like these horns aren't perfectly, and you really can tell whenever you start adding the little dots, they're not perfectly symmetrical, but I'm not super worried about it. I am worried about the eyeballs being like symmetrical though. Foam donut. Oh, to hold the head in place. That's such a good idea. Okay. I have a neck pillow out in the van, but it's so soggy outside. Okay, you have offered me the solution to my problem, but I'm not going to do it because I'm lazy. I'm sorry. But I'm honest. If nothing else, I'm honest. I'm just going to stand here holding it awkwardly. I might be able to use those things. Hey, Michelle, how's it going? I was making some things for camping. Ooh. Small towel folded up? Yeah, I need to go get a couple more towels, I think. Or a big towel. I'm going to go get a bunch of towels. I'll be right back. You can behold the dragon. Sounds like something from a Hannibal Lecter movie. Behold the dragon. This is my transformation, do you see? Ooh! Oh, well, hi, Amber Cat. Okay, so I've got the towel all folded and rolled and stuff. Maybe, it's a start. I'll take it. Whatever. I don't even think that this is helping. You know what? It's fine. Yeah, that's a totally legit reason for so many things. Yeah, I just wish I weren't like that every time somebody gave me like the exact solution to my problem, and I'm like, it's too much work though. Like I'm working on it. Hey, Cricket, how's it going? Okay, so now we've got little nubbies. So hopefully that'll give you all a good angle of that. Ooh, Al says, need more coffee before I start prepping rings for the next project. Ooh, coffee sounds good, Al. How do you take your coffee today? I brewed a pot this morning that I also put a vanilla chai tea bag into the basket of the coffee pot, and it's delicious. And then with some sugar-free Italian sweet creamer. And then I go like with like the frother. That's pretty good. Thank you, Michelle. I'm very excited. Like our dragon crowns, I love them and I'm going to keep making them, but I do kind of personally prefer them as wall sculptures. So I wanted to make some that are masks in the sense of what most people think of when I guess everybody thinks that whenever you say mask, and it's something that goes like around your eyeballs. And then I'm going to make some that are like, I'm hoping that by doing this, I'll be able to merge the masks we have been making that sit more kind of like a crown. And I'll be able to mesh the two together, like the two styles. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're just coming in here with our 5th little nubby. Welcome back. Y'all, I kind of want to take you into the kitchen with me, but it is such a mess in there. So because the camping gear is everywhere, but I am going to get this coffee going just because. Like I went back and because Randy likes to watch our old live streams, and I feel a little awkward. Ooh, I like this mug. I feel a little awkward about it sometimes because it's like I get so self-conscious and you're like, oh my god, I'm so cringy. But that's fine. Was there a dead bug in this? I hope there's not a. Okay, I gotta filter this and make sure there's no like dead bug just swimming in my coffee. Nope, it was just a little bubble. Okay. Very good. So I'm gonna pop this into the microwave. What were we talking about? But I missed kind of feeling less stressed about work and less stressed about like getting any sort of like measurable or tangible result. I was just crafting for the fun of it, and I was a lot more relaxed about our live streams. Like I didn't feel like, you know, I needed to be professional. You know, it's like I could just, you know, be chill. And so I'm trying to be like channel my inner Vaughn, and kind of find my way back to myself and my inner chill. So we'll get there. Hey Brenda, how are you doing? Mm-hmm. 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 Ooh, yeah, I think it would. Erica had suggested, would it help to add a little weight to the inside, like a bag of rice? That's a good idea. I'm also lazy, though, is the thing that we keep coming back to. But we'll get there. I'm happy with our current setup. Now, there is this like sculpture head that Randy and I saw somebody using in a video on the YouTube, and they had this like big old head that you put like a bunch of walleye in or water into, and that way it like weights itself. And that one looked pretty nice, but I think that sculpting bust would be best for monster clay, whereas this one we can use with monster clay, but I don't think I could put that other one in my oven, and I really like being able to bake the cosplay. Tasha says finding your inner chill sounds like a book I would defo get into. I should have an AI write it for me and just tell me what to do. Robot overlord, how doth I become chill again? Ooh, garlic's delicious. My stuff everywhere. It looks like we're moving in. Ah! Okay, now I have to show my filthy kitchen. Field trip. Eep! Taking the zoom off. So we've got, this is the example sipping station. And then Yvette had given us this bunch of bananas that we're going to be giving out as like freebies. But I've got like most of the coffee stuff together in here. But this is at the camp along. Pretend like all of that is the easy up kitchen. And that's going to be drinks. This is going to be our sipping station. So we've got ice. We'll have ice water on tap. That's s'more stuff. And then we'll have like the mugs and other things like spread out here. But we're getting that stuff packed up together. And then these are some of the pieces of like the kitchen. So these are empty though. That's fine. But like we're just, and this isn't even all of it because we also have some in the laundry room, and it's just, and then on the counter, and then it's everywhere. But I've gone through it, and we have a few more things coming in from Amazon last minute because we found these like little poppy-uppy umbrella looking bug net things for putting over food at like, camping or something. That way if we have during the potluck, we can put that over stuff and keep like bugs and leaves and things out of it. Hello, cup of coffee, waiting patiently in the microwave. Tripping over my camping gear. And then I'm gonna drink some coffee. Coffee. And so I think I'm gonna bring like 48 eggs for scrambled eggs each morning. But because again, the only thing that we're providing food to the entire group of folks for officially is the potluck. But anybody who came by the campsite last year knows that if you sit there long enough, I will feed you. I am compelled. I cannot help myself. And Sam's Club has like 6 different kinds of grapes. So I was going to get a bunch of grapes and then put them out on like the snacking table. And then we can eat grapes and cheese and just get fat together. It's going to be amazing. Ooh. Tasher said, ooh, cheers, everybody. A clink and clink. Thank you guys for hanging out with me during today's live stream and sculpt session. I'm going to get back to work eventually, I promise. Bye, Lisa. Oh, that's so good. I love coffee. Michelle says we are in spot 5. I don't know how bad the bugs are there, but I heard that if you get these boingy dragonfly-looking clip things and put them up, no more horse or deer flies. It's a good idea. Now, we've camped at this campsite once before, or at this campground once before, and it was essentially kind of the exact same spot. That's how I knew I wanted to book right there. It's because I remember it being relatively flat, and if we're going to have a lot of people sitting around the fire again this year, I wanted it to be nice and flat and no like tree roots and stuff to be tripping. So then but it was in May last time we camped there. So I have not camped there in the fall, but y'all, I think it's going to be beautiful because we're already, because of the drought, having some fall colors happening and now getting this like rain. I think it might be some of the most beautiful fall colors, or at least the starts of it. So we'll see. Bye, Sarah. And let's see, more coffee. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, the bugs weren't that bad. And then it's supposed to be getting down to like, I think 59 Fahrenheit at night. So the bugs might not be too bad. And quite frankly, I have adopted the Michelle Nieves method of just hotboxing myself in bug spray. And then bugs aren't a problem at all. But we should make some little dragonfly hair clips just to be certain. Like, coffee put the worlds to right? And Michelle says, I got stuff all over the kitchen, but I also have stuff on the deck waiting to go into the truck bed. We've got the rugs in the van already because we're putting a rug down in the kitchen because walking in the same area, everything gets really dusty. So I really like having, and it's just like the cheapest rug we could find down in the kitchen area. And then we put 2 rugs in our tent. And again, it's a lot easier to have the rug catch it than to have any moisture or dirt or different things tracked in on our shoes building up in the tent, because I still sweep the tent out with like a little hand foxtail and dustpan. But it's easier to just roll up the rug and then like shake it outside. Ooh, vanilla keeps mosquitoes from biting. Now I'll have to try that because I like the vanilla. I like citronella. Do citronella and vanilla smell good together, I wonder? I've not mixed those 2 scents before. I have some. Okay, we're gonna field trip. Okay, there's my cat. Ooh, we're gonna go outside. We still have some dragon heads for sale. Hashtag Back to Earth Creations. And then, behold, it's wet. Here we have some citronella. I'm just gonna take a little leaf. No, I'll take a big one. Okay, so there we have some citronella. Oh yeah, it definitely smells good. I don't know how this is gonna smell with vanilla, but let's see. I'm wondering if I have any vanilla in the cabinet. Now, also, is the vanilla extract? Oh, it's imitation. Boo. Well, I can still sniff it. Let's see. Let's go do a sniff test. We're doing science today, folks. Procrastination. All right. So already I like citronella, mostly because I can smell it at all. Oh, they'd clash a bit. I don't always like things that smell good. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, that stinks. Like I'm like a dog rolling around in roadkill. Okay, now if it's terrible, I'm gonna blame it on the imitation vanilla. Okay, yeah, these. I don't know. I'm trying to think like, what about like orange cream slush? Yo, that's nice. Oh, it's very orange cream slushy, but like replace orange with citronella. Oh, that's just cool. Okay, I'm gonna have to put a drop on the citronella. That's a good idea. I might have to make a body spray for bugs. Oh, that's nice. Y'all. I like it. Okay, I'm gonna put the citronella in my hair. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Most of those are my fairy god plants that I'm taking care of for my niece. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Would it be weird to bring a whole potted plant with me to? Yeah, that'd be weird. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, back to work. I've gotten some stank on me and some coffee in me. Let's get back to it. Geraniums give me headaches. Right on. Well, I'm glad I'm the only one who can smell this then. Okay. So yes, now we're going to do kind of the exact same thing that we had done before. But I'm going to roll it just a wee teeny bit thinner after I place these two perfectly the same size as each other nubbies. There and there. Looking good in the neighborhood. That's right. Okay. We're going to continue doing the little nubbies until we get to where we're going. And then I think I should probably get the oven preheating. That way we can pop this into the oven, and then while it's baking, I'm only going to bake it for like 20 minutes while to get these little dots. None of them are 1/4 of an inch thick. But while this is baking, I'm going to be making some modifications and additions to our tentacle mask. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I really like the random change of subject. I really like the musical Fiddler on the Roof. And just now I was thinking the Matchmaker song, but Mask Maker. Mask maker, make me a mask. Derp, derp, derp. That's all I got, but I kind of like that idea. My bowls. Ooh, Quiet Space says, is it okay to use cooking oven with polymer clay or cost clay? Would it be toxic in food? I don't know, hence asking. The internet says that it's going to leave fumes and intoxicate your whole home. I've been doing it for years and I think it's fine. I try to not scorch the polymer clay in my home oven, but I only have the one oven, so crafter's gonna craft. Now, we do try to keep our kitchen, well ventilated and all of that anyhow. And I do also have a gas stove, so I don't know if that's interacting with it differently than just an electric stove. But I think if you do have concerns, setting up a toaster oven on a porch or balcony is an excellent way to avoid any sort of worry at all if you're worried about it. But these guys are pretty big. I don't think I could fit this in a toaster oven. Michelle says now you just need music to it. I like that. And so the magic is happening in the details, for sure. Some more details. Yeah, quiet. I do hope that that's helpful to you. Oh, getting a nice little bit of a stretch in. I don't know if y'all can hear my neck cracking. That's okay. Still not completely recovered from spending, I think, 10 consecutive days like this sculpting on those masks for Dragon Con. What are you working on today, Al? I don't know if I asked you that. Laura says she loves to feed us. Saki Girl had said I had one of those glass heads, gave it to Goodwill, so I should have kept it now. Oh yes, faux show. Cricket says I haven't seen you in a while. How did Dragon Con go? It went really well. Like better than we deserve, for sure. It was probably the best show we've ever done. But the whole weekend started with Maddie and her mama got into they got rear-ended in a hit and run car accident on their way into Atlanta on Wednesday. Everything's okay. They're okay. The car was still drivable, but it kind of, the whole weekend after that, once everything was settled and they were okay and it arrived the rest of the way safely, I at least was just elated that everybody was okay. So like the whole weekend felt like such a blessing after that. And then Randy and I were way less stressed this year. We kind of set up, mindset shapes the narrative of the stories of our lives. Like if we're the narrators of our own life, the tone and the words that we choose to look at our life through shapes almost all of it, like really, especially in our memories. And so Randy and I have been working on changing our stress narrative, if that makes sense. It's like, just because it has always been this way doesn't mean it has to always be this way, if that makes sense. So with the way that we were approaching Dragon, we're like, this was our 13th Dragon Con, or 13th year of being part of Dragon Con. And it seems like every year, whatever stress we experienced, we just put into that backpack and kept it on. And it's like last year was so stressful. And so like that was kind of our tipping point where it's like, we cannot keep carrying this stress with us like this. So we took the step. So I don't know what we did, but we did it and it worked. So, and I think a lot of it is mindset. And I'm super grateful for that. Alsa's working on covering a bra in chainmail. That's awesome. And then Michelle says, oh, and I'm bringing both my drums. Nice. I'm going to be bringing 3 drums, my big, medium, and small, a tambourine, and my shaky eggs, like my little maracas. So we're going to try to have a drum jam again. But I am so out of practice. Silver says, what year was your first Dragon Con? It was, I think, either 2010 or 2011. I don't remember. It was a while ago. But we missed 2 years of Dragon. One of them was because of the pandemic, and then the next one we just weren't able to go because Randy had fractured his wrists back in 2013, but he had fallen and re-injured. They didn't fracture again, but he couldn't work for like 3 or 4 months. And so we were like, we can't do dragon because we can't make inventory. And if we had done dragon and just I made inventory, Randy would have still been working. There's like I can't make him not work if I'm working too. So so other than that, I think we counted it up and it was like 13 years. So it might have been 20. Oh, I just lost my other half of my nubby. Where you at, little nubby? There you are. Haha. Found you. But yeah, but we started out in the art show at Dragon Con. Oh, Kat says, hooey, I just figured out how to get Kick on my TV and now I'm watching you live in super size. We'll still chat via my phone. Oh, that's awesome. What kind of TV do you have that you were able to get that to work? On Saki Girl says wise words. I hope so. It's bye, quiet space. Have a great rest of your day and good luck. But yeah, we had started on a chainmail tank top. Nice. But we had started in the art show, and that was a really nice introduction because we were still driving our car back then, so we weren't ready for the dealer's room. And then over the years, we kept kind of building up into we were able to get big enough that we could move over into the dealer's room, like big enough we had a van, we could bring grid wall, like this was going to work. Extra engagement activated. Yeah, put our health first for sure. And mental health is like so important. Like I know that they always say that. I'm always like, yeah, okay, sure. But no, it really is. So, because if I'm not healthy, I can't do like anything. Like everything else is literally riding on health. Okay. So now I'm looking at this and I'm wondering, and I think I'm gonna do something. So over here on the side, we have, maybe you can see still. Over here, I have this little bit of like I had rolled all the clay out onto the thickest setting of a pasta machine, and now I cut it to be as square as I could get it with my eyeballs. And so now I'm gonna roll this sucker out. Nope, I just need to extrude it. I am not good at consistently. I do not feel like struggling with myself on trying to consistently roll out. Brenda Heckens, it's my extruder. Eee. All right, maybe I'll just do it by hand. Boo. Kat says, with you on the big screen, I can see the mask in detail. It is awesome, and it's not even finished. Oh, thank you so much, Kat. Hey, Nana from Colorado. How are you doing today? So just trying to get a consistent thickness. This is like a 2 or 3 millimeter now. Little snag. And I'm going to try to put this in as like a little bit of like an eyeliner. And I was kind of hoping that it would sit and be like cool, but I was also worried that it would just exacerbate any asymmetrical features. Okay. Because again, around the eyes, anybody who's ever done their eye makeup knows that around the eyes is like so much potential for magical detail or like, are you okay? Like detail. So I really want it to be crispy and nice. Okay, so I'm just focusing on getting this part more or less how I want it to be. And then, man, that rain is coming down. All right, on. Hey, Nikki, thank you so much. Nikki says, love your content. Keep on keeping it on. I'm doing my best. Nana says, I enjoy when you teach wire wrapping. However, I do not know how to get started or where to start. Right on. It says, I'm doing good. How are you doing? I'm doing really well. Well, do you have any particular pieces of jewelry that you're interested in making that might kind of narrow it down a little? Like, would you rather make a necklace or a pendant or like a finger ring or some earrings or like maybe something like a sun catcher? Because then that can help you to know, it just narrows it down a little bit, because that's part of what can be really overwhelming with a lot of crafts, I think, is you can do anything with anything. Like, so it's like, where do I go first? So having a little bit, oh, Brenda, thank you so much. Brenda Brunton just donated 5 memberships to Quiet Space, Fancy Nancy, Mama Salty, Crystal, and Fiddlesticks. Thank you so much, Brenda. That's awesome. But so do you know, of like, do you have anything kind of in mind, or whenever you picture yourself wire wrapping, what are you making? Is it like, because that might be the direction, help a road sign to point you in the right direction. And I have to be careful because these top ones, the little scales that we had done, are not baked yet. So I could, unfortunately, still do like a put an accidental fingernail mark. Hey, Itzy. My daughter gave me her old iPad. I'm having to go at digital drawing. Nice. Nan says, I have making jewelry, necklace, bracelets, and earrings. Never thought about rings. Right on. We do if you just want to dive in and start just somewhere, we do have a 7-lesson series on YouTube and our website, where on our website you don't have to watch ads and it's free to watch anyways. And that's backtoearthcreations.com. But our wire wrapping masterclass, it's 7 lessons and it teaches, they're the 7 like kind of core foundational techniques that if I could go back in time and just like slip myself a cheat sheet and be like, learn all this and you'll be able to do anything you want. That's what those 7 lessons are. And it's everything that I feel like I have to teach as a wire wrapping teacher. And so from there you can kind of go and watch anybody's tutorial, but it helps you get the practice, like that kind of, back in elementary school, whenever we wrote the letters for the first time and we kind of traced the A and then traced the B, and then we started drawing those letters until it became writing. Getting that kind of practice, sometimes I know I benefit from putting in that kind of practice on something. And if you follow along with that wire wrapping masterclass, it'll get you going on practicing and getting those foundational techniques so that you can then just go wherever your heart desires with it. Hey, Julie, how's it going? Julie says, hey, Yvonne, it's been a while since I've been able to catch a live stream. Well, I'm glad you're able to catch us. How have you been? Ooh, and there's Anika. Hey, Anika. Yeah, Nana. Don't forget, crafting's supposed to be fun. So don't put a lot of pressure. We shouldn't put a lot of pressure on ourselves to have it be anything other than fun, because even whenever it's work, even if you start doing something professionally, why not have it be fun? I hope our basement's not flooding. That would suck, but it is like coming down. Go down, down, sugar, my basement is flooding, and a herping dirt and a doodle. And so this is just one of those like little silicone tipped sculpting tools that I think I got from like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I know in our area, the Hobby Lobby is way nicer than our, like they have a much better selection for a lot of like brushes and sculpting tools and most anything. Our local Hobby Lobby has a better selection, except for fabrics. Joann's still has a better fabric section. Though I think our local Michael's just got a fabric section, but I haven't let myself go and look at it yet. Oh, well, thank you, Kat. Y'all, I've had a fantastic time hanging out so far today, but I do not feel like I have been particularly productive, if you know what I'm saying. Like, this is, we got a little bit, but I get way more done when I'm all like sitting here all lonely. That's fine. I'm having more fun this way. Oh, that's good to hear, Julie. Ooh, shameless self-promotion. Our live streams and free tutorials are brought to you by viewers like you who want to buy stuff from our website at backearthcreations.com. We have just uploaded 7 of these handmade leaf masks that are perfect for any time you want to be a little leafling wild woodland person. And we have them in a couple of different colors, and they're fully adjustable, and they are for sale. And we also have some different like crafting materials, but we've had to like pull like all the wires pulled off of our website because we're doing inventory on that. And then it's a mess over there, but it's our mess, and you're invited to come and check it out. So thank you guys. Shameless self-promotion over for now. Do I blend this out? Kind of want to blend it out. I'm going to try it, and if we don't like it, then now we know. Yeah, I don't think I like it there. So I'm just going to pull it out. Experimentation is spicy. So let's get you a little bit of a different view now. There we go. So now I'm just breaking off little chunks of the clay. Yes, Cat and Cauldron says it's good to have a fun crafting session at the beginning of the week to fuel you for the week of productivity. I agree. Okay, like I agree a bunch. Now for this, for under the eye, I think what I'm gonna do is drop it. Yep, there we go. Okay, and then find it. But now, does it have dog hair? Dog hair check. Wow, no, that's actually, it's good to go. Okay. So we're just gonna set it like surgery mode here. How do I get it in there? Okay. So once I have enough polymer clay on my skin, it'll kind of make me not quite Spider-Man with the tacky fingers, but they'll stick a little better. So I'm just gonna stick that right there in the eye on that side. And then, was a short fingernail. There we go. Because I don't want it like touching our face, like touching our eyeballs too much whenever we're wearing it. Ooh, Julie says, when you get a chance, check out SKS Props. He's a cosplayer and costume creator. He even has his own line of foam, including sculpting foam. He creates these really cool eyes. Right on. We've actually had the joy of meeting SKS Props whenever he was first getting his channel started. We were both doing the convention scene at the same time. No, he does really, really good work, and he's a shrewd business person as well. I doubt he'd even remember us, but we were at, I think, some Kansas City convention somewhere. It might have been up like by Chicago. I don't know. Feels like a lifetime ago. Laura says, my hands are sticky right now. I'm eating maple butter on toast. Oh, that sounds good. Teeny tiny dots. Okay, so we've done 2 little spots. And then ooh, from Quebec. So just trying to make the dots the same size as each other and kind of placing them relatively in the same spot on either side. We could use like reference images, but I am not about that life. Not today, at least. And sometimes I like to just switch it up, and now I'm going to start adding from the back side over here. So we're going to need like, and all the little pieces that I've pulled off, those are what I'm breaking up to make our little teeny tiny dots that we're making our scales out of. There we go. I gotta get the oven preheating. I'm putting it on to bake, and then 275. And I'm going to go ahead and take the rack out of the oven, the middle rack, and I'm going to be putting our polymer clay on the bottom rack on the head. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to go camping this weekend. I cannot wait. Oh, it's going to be so cool, y'all. The sun's out. Oh, I wonder if there's any rainbows. I'll be right back. Oh, wow. No rainbows on this side of the house. Oh, Lord, it is bright out here. Okay, I'll go ahead and leave that door open so we can get some of that nice cool breeze. Did I get the oven going? Yes. Okay. There we go. Oh no. Cat and Cauldron says, my daughter got maple butter from Trader Joe's and I'm afraid to try it. I don't need another sweet food obsession. That's fair. Laura says, I wouldn't be a very good Canadian if I didn't eat maple everything. That's good stuff though. Fiddlesticks says, someone gifted me a channel membership. Thank you. That was Brenda. Okay. So we have those. Hey, Itzy says, boo, I've swapped over, no adverts, right? That's nice, isn't it? Like, I think SKS Props did a really good video on doing like a dragon head, didn't he? Or that might have been, was that Chinbeard? So just shaping these in this way. Nana says, what kind of tools do I need to do wire wrapping? I would recommend some wire snips, field trip. I would recommend some wire snips, some round nose pliers, and then, so these are wire snips, some round nose pliers, and some flat nose pliers. These are the very, very basic for what I would recommend for wire wrapping. And then I would also, I like bent nose pliers. Just make things a whole lot easier. And then like some chain nose pliers, which are flat nose but like narrower tipped. These are a tapered flat nose, but it achieves the same thing. And then some mandrel pliers. So with these, I do almost everything that I do. Now, if you want to make finger rings, it's really helpful to have like a ring mandrel. And I have some, some really petite round nose pliers. So there you can see these two next to each other, the difference in size. And then from there, so yeah, if you're on a budget, I'd recommend just these three. And then the fourth one I would buy would be this one. This would be the fifth one I would buy, and this would be the sixth one I would buy. Also, nylon gel pliers are fantastic. Yes, Anika says nylon gels are also nice to have. And these are great for work hardening your work and also like smoothing your wire back out. So I hope that that's helpful to you, Nana. And then also just whatever variety of wire you like. I tend to get 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, and 28 gauge in the 4 base colors that I like, the silver, bare copper, antique copper, and vintage bronze. I don't have everything up. There's my tripod. I found it. Turtle break. Hey, Ron. Hey, LT. What you doing, silly turtles? What you doing, silly turtles? Being silly turtles. All right, give me just a sec. Set this right there. I'm going to give these turtles some food. Because they have not been fed yet today. And they are growing. They are growing a bunch because they have been shedding scoots. Like that's what these are in the bottom of their tank. They are shedding them like cray cray. So there's LT, and then they have their lunch swimming around loose with them as well. I love these turtles. They're my niece's turtles. I'm just holding on to them until she's done with college. Yum, yum, yum. Yeah. What a good turtle you are. Yes, you are. What a little LT. So, yeah. That's what I recommend for wire wrapping, and those are my niece's turtles. So field trip, we got to get back to sculpting this mask. I was supposed to be like done with it today, and we still haven't. Ooh, sounds like the oven's ready. I haven't gotten any notifications. So, oh, Shellron and LT. Shellron is the red-eared slider, and LT is the yellow-bellied slider. We got the turtles back in like June whenever we went and picked Maddie up for the summer. Okay, so let's see. But Randy's always wanted turtles. I've always like loved the concept of turtles, but it never occurred to me to like have them as pets because we had like goldfish whenever like in a, like we had fish tank in the living room when we were kids. And so that was really cool. But I knew how much work an aquarium was. And then Randy has like just a really deep seated, like he does not spend money on himself without like much misery and debate. And like he has like, I don't know, it is what it is. But he had always wanted turtles, and now we have turtles because we get to keep them for our niece. And while we might have never done it for ourselves, it's been absolutely amazing. And I'm very pleased with, we got, one of the first things we got was like an overkill filter. And it's been doing great. I've only had to, I do like weekly water swap outs because I water the houseplants with the turtle water. Turtle. And then I've done 2 deep cleans of the filter itself. And one of those times we took all the water out of the tank and like stirred the sand up. And it wasn't even, I don't even think we're going to need to do that again. But that's because I went almost 2 months without like cleaning the filter. And I was like, surely this must be bad. But it wasn't that bad. Once you let the biofilter part of it take over, so long as you can keep that balanced, then it seems to go pretty well. Now, granted, my house could totally smell like turtle butts, but our niece, who smells like, her sense of smell is better than ours, I was like, no, I don't smell any turtles. And she'll be like gone for a couple of days and then come back. And I'll be like, does the house stink? You gotta tell me if the house stinks. Like, and she's like, no, I don't smell anything. So that's good. Hey, Sabea. Stanky turtles walking down the street. Stanky turtles, the kind of stank you feel. Stanky turtles, I don't believe you. You know the truth. No one could stank as much as you. Mercy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stanky turtles. Uh-oh, dog hair. How are you doing, Sabea? Ooh, I thought of you today. I've been wearing my chicken socks, bok bok. Chicken socks of friendship. Oh, Old Red Dragon says your hands must cramp after a while. Fortunately, not too much. It's mostly my neck and shoulders that get all crampy on me nowadays. Probably from holding up my big old melon head all the time, but that is what it is. Ah, hey Hawk, how's it going? Hawk says, sorry I'm late. I've been busy with beads and started to pack the truck for Friday. Oh, how long of a drive is it for you, Hawk? I am so excited. I haven't checked the weather yet this morning, but I think the temperatures are going to be really nice. It might be a little bit more on the side of chilly than on the side of hot, which is my favorite because I'm a sweaty Yeti, and I'd always much rather be huddled around the campfire than like just sweating together. Ah, hey, Laura's Gym says hello. Like, I'm like, I wonder who this could be. Hello, waiting to pick up son from work. Just got off phone from We Do It. I hope everything's okay. I just got done explaining what the not a cult is. Oh no. How did you go about explaining that, Sabea? Because I'm still working on putting together the Kool-Aid bar, aka sipping station, for at our annual not a cult gathering. It only 2.5 hours from me. Oh, right on. I think it's only like 2 hours from us as well. I'm not certain. I'm not certain. We're certainly gonna, like, I think we're showing up and setting up on Thursday, but I don't know what time. And so it's still a little up in the air. I guess I could check the reservation. But we always try to give ourselves lots of leeway whenever we're setting up to go camping. Like, we always try to plan to leave earlier than what we think we need to and budget for arriving later than what we meant to, if that makes sense. She laughed and then asked if we get shirts. Gosh, if I had thought ahead, that'd be really cool. Next year, for the 3rd annual year, we're gonna have to make like, we're gonna have to do t-shirts or something for the event, like start commemorating it. I think we have the spot across the road from you. Ooh, oh, that's gonna be awesome. Is that the Stanky Turtles version of Sweeney Todd's Pretty Women? I think it was the Pretty Women song. It's like, pretty woman walking down the street, and it's like, Stanky Turtles. Send help. I should be working. I come in on Friday. By the way, how many tables do I need to bring? Currently, I don't think we'll need any. A lot of it is just make sure that you're covered. We've got silverware, we've got plates and napkins and paper towels. Like, I think we'll be good for like hosting the what's it called? The potluck. Oh God, I'm so excited, you guys. And then, and I think Randy and I only have enough space for the 2 additional tables that we're bringing, but then we also have 2 picnic tables. So it's like, I don't know. Like probably 1. If you think you want to bring a table, probably just bringing 1 table would be plenty. But and then we're bringing 7 tray tables. So if we can fit them, a lot of it at this point is like, I'm just seeing how much stuff we can put in the van, and we're putting the solar baubles into the chainmail chandelier, and we're bringing that bad boy. So like, and Randy's full on board with like us glamping it up, and he was even like, what if we did curtains? And I was like, okay, like let's do curtains. And so he always knows just what to say. Ooh, paper plates and plastic forks and paper towels extra. Okay, that's good to know. We never know what we're going to need until we're there. So it's kind of, we're trying to bring as little as possible, but also as much as possible, for preparedness. Ooh, Michelle says, how many of y'all are bringing doggies? We are leaving our Z-Dog at home because traveling causes him nothing but stress. And he is not about that. But I'm excited. Will we get to see Nadia again? And Nadia's sister, whose name I can't remember. I hope she's not offended. Ooh, I'm going to need a moving van just to bring the stuff. Yes. We'll be there Friday, going crystal mining on Thursday and Friday morning. Oh, Sabea, that's awesome. Where are y'all going crystal mining at? To be easier on you, why don't I bring my 3 tables plus a card table? Well, a lot of it is well, we've already got the tables in the van and stuff. Hey, pretty coot. And I think we'll be good. Thank you though, Hawk. Nadja and Journey. Ooh. Has Journey gone camping before? This will be good for her, and Nadja's already got some experience, so she'll be a good big sister, I bet. Don't listen to Jim going to Well, that is, if it's not, we're going to have to start calling it Glamp Along with Randy Vaughn instead of just Camp Along. Nope, her first. Oh, that's going to be fun. Ooh, yeah. Sabea says there are a bunch of crystal places in Mount Ida that's 2 hours away from camp. Oh, I had no idea it was just 2 hours away. That'd have been cool. Pretty Cute says, missed you both. So happy you were back from dragon slaying. Me too. Like, this is good. Right, they glamp. Yes. Ooh, firewood. Always need firewood when I've gone camping. Yes. Now, Randy and I, we never bring our own firewood in. We always just buy it from the venue because you never know what little tag-along bugs are hiding in the bundles, and I don't want to be contributing to like the elm vine, the elm borer or elm vine borer? There's like a bunch of them probably, but like there's bugs that'll like hitchhike, and I don't want to be like spreading. Ooh, we do it says I got your back on the firewood. Right on. Now, to everybody who's coming or interested in coming in the future, the way that we do this is say bring your own chair. You are welcome to come and hang out around our fire, basically from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday, we're having a potluck at like 4 p.m. in the afternoon is I think when we'll tuck in to start eating. But it's just kind of, we wanted to go camping and we want to see all of our friends. And I think just about all of y'all are friends that we just haven't gotten to meet yet for the most part. And getting to meet so many of y'all last year was phenomenal. Like, I don't even know how to express how excited. I'm flailing around, but I'm so excited to get to see y'all again and to get to meet some new faces. Ooh, Hawk says, I dig for crystals in Jesseville. Nice. We were on an extra table, but since I'm not going to leave here till Friday morning, if you need anything while you're there and think of anything, just let me know. Oh my gosh, Hawk, that's so kind. Thank you. I'm so excited. But yeah, it's a bring your own chair and bring your own drinks. We will have a cooler for you to be able to put some of your drinks in to keep them cold, like while you're there, like hanging out. And we've got like a little sipping station that if like last year, everybody was so kind and brought like little like hors d'oeuvre plates or like little share stuff. And so now this year we'll actually have a table to put those out on where it like makes sense and there's like utensils. So we're going to keep learning how to host every year. Y'all, what do you think of that? Because I'm supposed to be filling in this whole spot and it's just I'm taking forever. I'm sorry. Ah, well, hey, McLeod, how are you doing? Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to our live stream, everybody. We are making a mess. We're working on a dragon mask. We're sculpting with Cos clay, which is a rubberized polymer clay. Bum, 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 bum. And it behaves pretty much just like any other polymer clay I've ever used, except for once it's baked, it's very, very rubbery, and that's very nice. Ooh, we do it says, see, we can dig for crystals. Welcome, Raiders. Well, thank you so much, McLeod. This is the second style of this mask that I've made. The first style, this one was our prototype that I'll actually be working on because I was trying to demonstrate to folks how flexible it is. And then I bent it like in half all the way and it did start to split. So I'm going to do some repair work on this one, but it is very flexible as what you would need a mask to be, I think. So, ooh, would you consider coming to Connecticut for camping? Gorgeous camping areas here. I have an amazing spot I know you'll love, surrounded by water. Ooh, I would love to. Because we're going to have to hit the Northeast at some point. Like, it's a super duper long drive, and we're still a little, like, scarred from whenever we went to Baltimore. But that was, like, so long ago, I don't even remember why we didn't. I think everything was just really expensive, and there were, like, toll roads. Or we got stuck on a toll road. But this was before Google Maps, and we were just like using a Garmin and some MapQuest printout instructions. So it'll be fine. So, but yes, I'd love to go to Connecticut sometime. Okay, let's keep sculpting. So now that we've done, we still have a little bit of like the unbaked clay here from where we're doing that first layer. So now let us see if we can. I'm just rolling this snake out a little thinner. I think I'm going to need to bake it before we do the next layer. So the oven is to temperature. And so I'm going to come through and just scrape a little. Can y'all hear the neighbor's rooster hollering? He's just yelling into the void. Me too, buddy. Me too. You know, it would probably work a little better. 99% isopropyl alcohol works fantastically, but it gives me headaches because this stuff is pungent. Where's my little thingy of stuff? Haha, there you are. And I've got this little thing, and I'm just going to go like blurp, just a little. And that's enough to stink up like the whole house. Uh-oh. Oh, I've lost the lid. Heck. Okay. Oh, there you are. Okay, I found the lid. Disaster averted. For now. Okay, and then I like to use, this is a synthetic bristle brush. I don't know if that's better or worse, it's just what I'm using. And I'm touching just a little into the isopropyl alcohol, and then you can see that actually just dissolves it. And that's just because there was just a wee bitty bit, but it's a great way if you wanted to blend out like some details or smooth things. It's a great way of like removing fingerprints or softening tool lines. Been watching some YouTube videos on Devil's Den, so can't wait to explore. Ooh, did you find out anything interesting? Randy and I watched a Y-Files about alien abductions. And so that'd be some shit. I went to glamp along with Randy Vaughn and all I got was abducted. Boo. Whole trip's ruined. Hey Sarah, how's it going? Do you have any more tie-dye shirts or dresses? I do, Nana. Last week we added a whole bunch of new ones to the website. You can find them at backtoearthcreations.com. And under our jewelry and more tab, there'll be a tie-dye tab, like in the drop-down menu. And we have everything from like small to 3X, I think, are the sizes that we uploaded. So I'm working with the manufacturer to see if we might be able to wholesale some tops that we can, like some blanks, up to 6X though, which I'm really excited about because I love super flowy clothes. And I'm really excited about that because I know a lot of folks like super flowy clothes because I want moo levels of comfort with like dramatic fit and style. So just the caves and waterfalls, right on. I'd buy that t-shirt. If it weren't such short notice and our screen printing friends weren't in I think in Baltimore right now actually, I'd be like, hey, can you bust us out some t-shirts that say I went to camp along with Randy Vaughn and all I got was abducted. I might be able to make pins real quick. We'll figure something out. Hey, Katrina. Katrina says I get so many compliments on my tie-dyes whenever I wear them. Oh, that makes me so happy. Okay. Okay, we smooth that stuff into the oven with ye. Here, let me take you guys with me just so you can see how this goes into the oven. So this is the mask. And I think the next couple of, oh, you know what we should do? Okay, I just changed my mind. I got to do something real quick because I think it's going to be awesome. And I got to put down the ducky. There we go. So our next, this might be our second to last bake, you guys. Ooh, yes, it is very historic at Devil's Den with the Conservation Corps. I think what's the CCC? Katrina says, fingers crossed this weekend show goes well so I can snag that blue and purple kimono jacket. Ooh, where's your show at this weekend, Katrina? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am just going to break off some little... No, I'm not going to break them off. We've got cutters for this. All right, you guys, we're going to get kind of zoomed out here so that we can see what's going on. Let me see if I can get to stop leaning. Thank you. Okay, and we're going to move this to over here. Just on the thickest setting of the pasta machine. I'm going to move that extruded bit. I'm going to take some of these, just pick up loose stuff, smush it together. Lurkin' work. Hey, Jettison, how's it going? Nana says, me too, flowy. And do you make any with long sleeve? Because I'm Muslim and then I could wear them out in public. I think currently we do have some long sleeve, but then we have like some 3/4 sleeve as well. But I'm working on, we could find some with long sleeve for you for in future shop updates. There we go. So we're just getting that rolled through. If there's any little air bubbles, I just stretch it until it like pops-ish. There we go. And see, there's another little air bubble. We're just going to stretch that until it pops. Woo! My handle is flying off the handle. All right, that'll work. And then we have that there. I'm going to open up. This is my sculpting drawer. It's a disaster, but I love it. So there's all sorts of like little cutters and pastels and things over in there. But I'm going to use I've got these like clay cutters, and it's clay with a K, but they're gradated in size. Now I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to, I have an idea. So I'm going to cut out one, boop, and then I like it because they've got that little pusher outer plunger. Okay, making sure that they're in order. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe this will, okay, and I'm just going to set that off to the side. But now with this, if I take it and cut it in half, then I should have 2 pieces that are like exactly as I need them to be. And I'm just going to roll them. And then I'm going to place, boop, because I kind of want to do a second layer of horns. So we have these horns here, and if I do another layer, like if this one's like really spiky, should we do it very spiky? Ooh, Nana asks, where did you get your camera holder? Amazon, but then I have it attached to a microphone stand that my bonus dad had. So, with some weights on the bottom. But if you search like camera arm, like they've got better models than this probably now. This one I've had for quite a while. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna do that little guy right there. I'm just gonna have them be nubbies. I'm not gonna go full on lots of horns just yet. There we go. So now those 2 dots are the same size. Okay. So I'm just gonna cut. What I'm doing with the cutters is I was trying to get like consistent sizes. And so now I've cut it wasn't perfectly in half. So then I cut the halves in half. So now these 2 should be the same size and those 2 are just a little smaller. And so now I'm going to come in here. And what this is going to accomplish is this is going to give us, if we put them on and then bake it, it's going to give us rigid spots to sculpt in and around. And then I can also choose to sculpt on top of them if I want to make it more spiky. But I kind of want to test out what I had originally had in mind first, just for science, for farts and giggling. And then just kind of spacing them in that way. Oh, those 2 are not the same size, like at all. So I'm just going to roll them together and try again. No sweating, just chill. Hey, Slashly, how's it going? Thank you so much for the follow. Ooh, Laura's Gym says, I see a few events at the campground on Friday. Smelly skunks meeting place, amphitheater near Area E. Why do skunks smell bad to some people? Why is the reason they spray? Learn the answers to these questions and more by joining park interpreter Kara as we discuss one smelly animal, the striped skunk, at Devil's Den State Park. Oh, does it say what time they're doing that? Because last time we camped there, granted it was in May and not in the fall, so I don't know what the skunk activity is like, but somebody's dog got sprayed by a skunk up by the bathhouse in the primitive camping area, and that was stanky, and I felt really bad for them. But fortunately it was right next to the bathhouse and they were able to like get their dog like spray, washed off and stuff. But still, that's so like poor doggy. Poor doggy. Okay, so there's those. I don't know if I like it or not. We'll see. But this will give us, we'll be able to fill in. Let's do some texture on it. If I don't like something, usually if I poke it a bunch, it'll grow on me. So we do. It says, aren't you glad I'm bringing him? Yes, actually 100% yes. Like, this is so cool. I think so far we'll have like 3 husbands just over in the corner. It's going to be Randy, Jim, and Edwin just like looking around. Hopefully being in heaven, we'll just feed them and like they'll be happy. So, okay, no times listed. Welcome back, Kay. Left the room and my phone's battery ran out. Did not realize it was low. Now I have you on PC. Mask is much bigger on this screen. Right on. That's good. Here, let's get so you can see what texture we're doing. She looks like she's at a spa with her head on like my beach towel, and it's like, yes, just relaxing, doing a nice little face massage. Oh, Kat says, can you take them off after they were baked? Yes, that's how we did this mask here. And you can see this is how the inside looks. And so I'm actually going to be going through and adding in a little bit more clay because I was stress testing and it cracked just a little. So whenever we get this one into the oven, that's what I'm going to be working on. Ooh, what if we used faster texture? This is actually a leather working stamp. Look at how quick and easy. That's almost like cheating, it feels like. It's not cheating, it's being resourceful. There we go. And then I'm going to kind of just touch these ones around the eyes because I was aiming at having them be very, very smooth, but then I poked them a bunch with my own fingernails. There we go. And anytime whenever I'm sculpting and I add a little bit of texture like this, I never regret it when I'm dry brushing during the paint job. It always like what the details just come to life. And our goals with this mask, because I wanted to make an affordable dragon mask, and the dragon masks that we have been making, I would not consider affordable, but totally worth it though. They're one of a kind, like hand sculpted pieces, like no two the same, not even if I tried. Whereas with this one, I was thinking like Randy had the idea, and then I was thinking that we could totally do it. Like, we're going to try to make a mold of this mask. So we have the mold compound on its way. We're going to do the Rebound 25 brush on silicone mold making compound. We're going to do like a little clay to build a little wall around here. And then we're going to brush on the silicone mold. And then we may do a little separating here to make a 2-part mold, like mother mold case that would like wing nut together, and that way we can pull it off of these side horns without any stress. But that would just be holding it. The silicone itself would still be one piece, but the rigid outer mother mold support would be made with freeform air. So it's on the way. We'll deal with that when it gets there. But and once that's said and done, I will be able to remove this mask, but I think I'll be keeping this mask forever for us to be able to make more molds of later. And then we'll do what's called a slush cast inside that mold whenever we get. So hopefully it'll be good and it'll work. Roberta says, I always say I cheated. I used my brain. Oh, so resourceful. Using tools to make your crafting easier, right? Oh, Hawk says, how long are you going to be there? A lot of it depends on the weather. A lot of it depends on how we're feeling. We may pack up Sunday evening or we may pack up Monday morning. So, Oh, Michelle says, oh, speaking of spa, my son's girlfriend got me a 60-minute float. I did it yesterday. Oh, and I'm going to have to go more often. What's a float? Like is that like immersion or those chambers where they put you like in a pod and you're in the Wawa and just floating, like the sensory deprivation? It's relaxing. That's good. Okay, so let's see. We've got those dots. We've got a little bit of texture on them, which I am digging. Pod floating. Okay. Oh, nice. Absolutely loved it. I don't think I've had 60 minutes of undisturbed like anything ever. So like there's always something to like scamper off and do. So I think just being trapped in a pod for 60 minutes would do me a lot of good. Or I'll just be laying in there screaming for 60 minutes. Either way, I'm gonna have a good time. So all right, let's see. So I'm having brain farts. I don't really know what I want to do next because I keep thinking that I want to do that like ridge down the sides of the nose. And since I'm not certain, I'm just going to pop it into the oven because I'm certain about what we've got so far. Maybe, I think. We'll see. And then we'll just work on that other mask for a little bit. Popping the oven open. Putting the mask in the oven. And closing it up. So I set the mask just on its, or the head on its base on the oven rack. And that puts the mask itself around in the center of the oven, like the center of the oven. Ooh, there's my extruder. All right, so while that is baking, we get to work on another mask. And this will be very good, I think. So I'm just gonna fold that, pass it through the pasta machine. Let me gather up some of my tools just so that they're out of the way. There we are. And I do like to use my little shape cutters. Just to kind of do stuff like that. Bring that in together. And then from here, so we have this one that's like a very flat little spatula. And then I also like this sculpting tool. I just grabbed like 3 of the cheapest packs on Amazon of different sculpting tools to see if there were any shapes that I liked. And so now I've got like a lot of sculpting tools that I think I may donate, or I'm such a hoarder. I want to save them for teaching classes one day, just because it's not my favorite sculpting tool. Maybe I just haven't figured out the best way to use it yet. Like, you know what I mean? And so I'm just coming in here, and I wanted to reinforce that connection point with more clay. And so I'm just blending that edge out. Blend, blend, blend. And I do it very rough first, like very, very rough. I don't want to get fixated and try to make something perfectly smooth right now because I don't have any guarantee that this is going to be what I'm sticking with. And so just blending. And now I'm actually going to use the bridge of my own nose to make sure that this is comfortable. So if I get a terrible rash, y'all will see it at the camp along. I think that'll be just fine. Oh, I love it. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to touch the, oh, I can't see. Touch the microphone. Ooh, Cat and Cauldron says, how many times can you bake the whole thing? This one will have been baked. This will be like its 4th baking. So I hope that's okay. And so now I just want to thin it down a little bit more. So I'm just dragging. It seemed to fit pretty well. And once we put some felt on the inside of this, I think it'll be just perfect. But I do want to drag our material out just a little bit more, just to thin that down. And hopefully this will make sure that we're making really good contact all along where this clay is attaching to where it's already baked. I have used liquid polymer clay in the past to make sure that things stick. I like to do that if I'm just setting, like I was thinking about making some little granules, like little round things, and I was going to put in some liquid polymer clay into that cavity to make sure that those stick. That way I'm not having to like press or deform them. Is that a glass head mold? It was just a glass head that we had gotten at Pure One Imports back when we still had one in the next town over. Like they've gone out of business since then, I think. But it was like $20 and it was totally worth it. Like we used it as a display head for a few years in the booth just because we wanted something that looked a little nicer than the styrofoam heads we had been using that were very junked up. Like those styrofoam heads do not last long for us in our booth, unfortunately. So we've since started using like cork wig heads, and I think those were a better route for it, but I do not regret buying that glass head because there's always a way to utilize, repurpose. So now just getting that even more smoothed out. And now from here, we can just use our finger a bit. And I'm just going to pet it. I knew I needed it before this camping trip to help before we get there. Nice. That's awesome. And so just pet, pet, pet. I'm debating on if I should make Dutch oven monkey bread with apples in it. Wouldn't that would be so good, but that's like pure carbs. But Randy and I were watching some Boy Scout cooking videos, and like the dude who was showing how to make the monkey bread, he made it look so easy and so good. But I don't have any crock pot liners or Dutch oven liners. And I do think that would probably be pretty necessary because otherwise we're going to burnt monkey bread. Ever thought about a mannequin head? Like the realistic ones? I don't know. I think I watched too much Doctor Who as a kid. I'd hate for the mannequins to like come to life. Most of our mannequins are just torsos without legs or arms. But that would be interesting. I would want to make sure that it's a mannequin head that has like kind of realistically sized features. Use parchment paper and cut it to fit. Okay. That sounds good. All right, now we're going to use that isopropyl alcohol. And y'all, the 50% stuff just doesn't cut it. Get the 99. It'll make your life so much easier. So we're going to see. That's how it's looking. And then we just paint it, and it kind of just dissolves and kind of liquefies the surface of the unbaked clay. I'm pretty pleased with that. But you know what I mean, though. And so I think this is the only spot on the back that needed reinforced. And so from here, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to just flip it over and work on the front. I don't think we'll need to rebake the back before. Yeah, I just wanted to reinforce where there was a crack, and then all of this is going to have some felt adhered to it later on. So, ooh, there we go. There is a, like, we could go a couple of routes. We could go where we do like face molds, like face casting of Randy and I's heads, and then we'd be able to like just sculpt them directly to our own faces, which would be pretty cool. And go make sure they always fit us at least. But because Randy has a much more like average sized head and like face from just whenever we try things on at the store is what I'm basing this off of. Whereas I have like a massive melon noggin. So I figure if I made it to fit my face, it should fit just about anyone, unless they're like having a big head competition with me. And then in which case we might do something custom. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to go that route. I also found it's like $80, but it's a heavy duty, meant for like armature sculpture base for sculpting monster clay onto. And I thought that would be pretty cool. But I'm very happy with the glass one specifically, if for no other reason than it can be baked. And I like that. I like that a bunch. Ooh, hey, Cindy. Cindy says, Yvonne, your mask looks great. I was in on the clay when they started producing, so I got a bunch. The problem is, since I had my wrist surgery, this clay is really hard. Do you know how to soften? Well, so with the Cos clay, some of their clays, like their glow clay, super supple, very easy. But and that's coming from my own hand injury. Even stuff that's very soft and supple can still stress the old injuries. This one they're soft. And then they have a like medium firm, and then they have an extra firm. And the extra firm, yes, the Cos clay. What I do is I'll go through and I'll slice very, very thin, like this. Like super thin. And then with the acrylic roller, I'll come through and just start kind of trying to condition that bit of clay into itself. Because if I just took it and jammed it through the pasta machine, it's just going to crumble everywhere. You can see kind of almost already how crumbly that is. But if we just take it and start just kind of controlled, it's like working with a very dry, flaky dough. You just have to, don't add more water, just trust it. You could add clay softener, but that's kind of tricky. Ooh, Cat and Cauldron says, does the isopropyl alcohol work with sculpty clays? In my experience, it does, yeah. And so doing a little bit of folding and rolling with the extra firm, and honestly, if I were buying these again, I'd gotten the extra firm to experiment. I don't know that I would use the extra firm for anything beyond making like spikes and claws and things that I really need to hold their detail well. So because the softer clays like this one here, I wish I could demonstrate the difference in how much harder the extra firm is than the medium, what do they call it? Medium firm Cos clay. I would use either medium firm or soft for like everything. And then the extra firm I like to use for if I'm making like a horn or a claw or a spike or something that I want to hold its shape a little better. So actually, I'll go ahead and use this extra firm because I want them to hold their shape for adding in the little dots and stuff. Thank you, Krishna. I love this labradorite. It is such a beautiful stone. Nature does all the hard work on that. I just have to make it where you can wear it. Okay, so I'm going to put the block. Let's go ahead and condition just a little bit more. Ooh, Kay says, will clay conditioner soften it up again? This is what I use for other brands. Have not used with Cost Clay though. I would test like a bit just to make sure that it still bakes well and that it doesn't like turn to pure mush or something. And that's just, I've been using my Sculpting clay softener that I can't find. Though, does Cost Clay have their own? Yes, Cost Clay has their own softening agent, and I do recommend using product with product, if that makes sense. So let's see. I'm going to want to use, do I have a little bit of liquid clay here? Ooh, we have the Cost Clay oven cure adhesive. I may use that today. Then we also have, now this is a separator. So if you wanted two pieces that fit like perfectly snug together, but you want them to not like stick, that's what this would be for. And then we have some glow clay. Oh, that's the sealer. I don't know if I trust their sealer, you guys, but it was probably my own fault for using a bunch of different stuff, but my whole snaggletooth turned out sticky, and I don't know if it was the sealer or if it was the paint that I used, so more data is required. But I also have this liquid Cost Clay glow that we might use, but it's going to get painted over, so we'll just use the baking bond, this stuff, the Cost Clay oven cure adhesive, which looks pretty runny. Now also, we could use this, or I'm going to use the bottle that's already open because I am cheap like that. This is Sculpting liquid bakeable clay, and this is in silver, and I think this is just what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to gather up all of my little scrap clays here. And I want to make a bunch of like little granules that are kind of the same size as each other. So to do that, I'm going to take this, I'll fold it and roll it. I'm going to squish it out. I'm going to pass it through the pasta machine. And then I'm going to cut a straight edge, set that off to the side, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to try to cut to where now this piece is just as thick as it is wide. And then there's a second one. And then there is a third one. And that's all I'm going to work with for now, because I don't think we'll need too terribly much. And so now coming through the end on this one, the end is all tapered, so I'm going to snip off that tapered end. And I'm going to go, there's 1, 2, oh, I'm not even in frame. There we go. 3, 4, and now I'm going to make them a little bigger. 5, 6, 7, 8 in that next size, and I'm going to go a little bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go a little bigger still. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm just going to cut that one in half, and maybe those will be the same size. They're pretty close enough, I think. And then I'm going to roll these into little nubby balls. Gotta run, folks. See some of you at the camp along. Bye, Laura. We'll see you. Drive safe. I can't wait till it's for this weekend. I use a drop at a time. It goes a long way. Okay. Yeah, it really does go a long way. So those will be our two biggest, and then this next size down, 2, 3, 4, and then the next size down. I kind of want to. I've got a couple of these marble slabs that we actually got for free from a friend who worked at Lowe's, and whenever they were clearing out, these were just in the trash, and they were like, "You want these?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I want them." And so they gave us like a bunch, and they were like sample, like counter samples for countertops, and a flatter color for a background would be nice, I think. That way I can see my little nubs, my little spots. But so now we have a nice gradient, hopefully, if you can pretend like you can see that. So there's our smallest ones. There's our mediumest ones. And there's those ones. I'm just getting these moved over. And then those guys, which I actually think I'm just gonna roll together. Okay, and now we're gonna use this Sculpting. You can see this is an older bottle. It is, there might be a little dust on the bottle. Don't let it fool you. Find what's inside. There we go. I always forget that it takes a while for these to. Ooh, it just leaked on me. There we go. Now this looks like it might have separated out a little bit. This is very runny, but we'll see. Okay, and this is the same brush that I was using for putting on the isopropyl alcohol. And so that's actually what I'm going to be using to clean the brush out as well. And I just want to kind of brush any excess off. Okay. And then I've got a little tissue here that we can manually squeeze out the clay. Okay, and so now from here we have this dot that I'm just gonna go like boop on the snoot, and then we're gonna take the next size down and go like boop and boop, just kind of cramming it up. And this is what I really like truly about, I'm going to remove that center one. I like that most of this is baked already, and so that I am able to just kind of smush it into place. There we go. I like that. There's those. And so I wanted to try the granules because I thought it would look a little more Cthulhu-y. Like, ooh, we could go full creepy and poke little holes in all of these, but I think that might make some folks like miserable. Cindy says, that's what I use on all my other clay. I just didn't know about cost clay. Gotcha, Cindy. I just realized I had coffee still. Does anyone know where Yvonne got the glass skull she is using? Pure One Imports. You might be able to look online to find them as well, though. And then doing 2 of the next size down. I don't know if I like the little granules, you guys. I don't know. So I'm going to go the next size down. And then we'll do 2 of the smallest. I need to not forget that it's kind of sticky on the back. And then I'm going to start building back up in size. There we go. Putting that in. I don't know, I kind of like it. It's growing on me, perhaps. Like a mold, it is growing on me. And so, and I have completely abandoned trying to be meticulous and consistent now, and I'm just breaking pieces off. That looks like a pretty good size. Whoops. So I'm always kind of conflicted. And so I'm going to try to make the same number of granules take up the same amount of space, but it's a little more compacted over here than it is over here. And I think that'll be all right. What do you think? I'm kind of digging it. We shall carry on. It's not it's just the first one I'm making, not the last. So hopefully. It didn't have to be perfect, it didn't have to be anything. Well, you just got to get it made. Okay, I want to do this little nestled in area next. And so this is where typically, if I were on a roll, this is where I would be keeping my liquid polymer clay. This is in one of the Tandy leather tool racks that are like $7. And I just set it in there, cap on. But this way I do not have to wait in between applications for all the ketchup to move back to the head of the bottle, or all of the clay rather. The stone on this is a labradorite, which I think my favorite way I've ever heard it put is that labradorite is the good boy of the gemstone world, which I think is a very accurate statement. There we go. I want to take a moment for some shameless self-promotion and to let y'all know that we have leather leaf masks up for sale on our website. We just added them today. They are very pretty and cool. That's just it draped on my face like a piece of ham, Hannibal Lecter style. So just imagine how it looks if I were like trying. But I'm very excited for Halloween this year. I don't often, in years past, I haven't made a lot of time for myself to be like indulgent and excited about Halloween. Kind of thinking about really leaning into it. Okay, and I'm experimenting now with using a silicone tipped brush in that same tissue to kind of just move the clay around. I think I prefer the paintbrush with the rubbing alcohol just because it seems a little smoother. It gets into those cracks and stuff a little better. Yeah, I like that better a lot. Much better. And I did want to make sure to be getting some of this liquid polymer clay up into here where we had a little bit of cracking earlier. So just gonna squelch that up into there and into there. Put the lid on, put it back upside down. I never set a timer for the shucks. I never set a timer for the mask in the oven. That okay. And then I just kind of rinse my brush out. Rinse. Polymer clay laughs in the face of water. But just cleaning the brush out in some rubbing alcohol. And so long as I don't bake this brush, I'll be able to just keep using it specifically for this, for like ever technically. Did you build the mask shape around the stone? The way that I did this one is I did 2 big teardrops, and then I like to use these polymer clay cutters. So I used this one for the base on each side. With this was the one that I used to cut out the eye holes, and then I shaped those onto that glass head. And then you can see on this part here, I used one of the eye cutouts to put that down. And then I put the gemstone on there and then built the clay up around it and started doing like, I did the tentacles next and then did the gemstone and then added the layers. So, but this one's the prototype. We'll be doing a full tutorial on this design once I get it to like where I feel like I know what I'm doing well enough instead of just like shooting in the dark. There's so much content online nowadays that like back in the day, I didn't mind experimenting as much on in tutorials and stuff. But nowadays the online climate has changed to a point where it's like I don't want to waste anybody's time, and I don't want to get told about how I'm wasting their time. So I'm being a little more discerning in what I record, not for like the people who are negative in the comments, but just to give me the confidence that y'all are busy people. I want to teach you this as quickly and efficiently and as fun as possible. And then if you want to kind of just hang out and shoot the wind and waste some time, that's where we have the live streams. Hey Loki, how are you doing? When I want to soften my clay, I lay it on a heating pad for about 10 minutes. Oh, right on. I usually just sit on it. But the heating pad's a good idea. Okay. So I'm trying to make a bunch of consistently sized little nubbies because I'm going to try that out this time. Where, in theory, we'll have, let's take our 2 wee bittiest nubbies. Okay, so I'm going to try to take 2 squares that are the same size. Oof. All right. Sometimes I'll just do best 2 out of 5. Whichever ones seem to be closest to the same size. One way to flatten it, right? And I'm going to drop these little granules. And we're going to come in with our paintbrush and just kind of encourage that little granule into place. And I'm kind of hoping that this will give us like a really cool, I want it to look like it was sculpted from like behind or within or something. Okay, so now let's do 2 pieces that are a little larger. And just dropping it in. And see, this is where using an extra firm clay, if I were using the soft clay, it might deform whenever I poke it with the brush, whereas the extra firm is doing a good job about holding its shape. So now I've put 2 little nubbies together, a little bit bigger. Now, the main thing to watch out for is I've got so much like rubbing alcohol and liquid polymer clay on my fingers. Do not rub your eyeballs. This is my hope for all of us, that we can get through the day without rubbing something craft chemical into our eye holes. That would be so nice. Okay, so now, but oh, I love the way that that's looking. Let's use, do we have like a medium going on here? Fill up a piece of material with rice and put it on that works better than towels. That's a really good idea too. I don't think I'll be getting that going for in today's live stream, but for in the future, that would be a very good idea. Okay, so trying to make two larger, slightly larger little nubbies. Whoop, there's that. There's that. Okay, so just encouraging that down and in. There we go. But yeah, by using the liquid polymer clay, we're not having to particularly press. Ooh, Loki says, have you seen the upholstery makers on Kick? I haven't. Do they do like, what's it like? I'm interested though. So tomorrow on YouTube, y'all, we should be having another unboxing. It'll be the beaded Adornable Elements Bead of the Month Club unboxing. And I'm very excited about that because they had a really cool box for this month. And then we will not be online again until a week from today, because we are going to our second annual Camp Along with Randy Vaughn in the woods. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. Herping my derp and derp and a derp and derp derp. So now as we come to the end here, I'm starting from the other end and putting the small spot. And I'm trying to kind of gauge and make sure that the spacing's the same. That one's too big to fit in there, so maybe we'll just do that one. Boop. And that one. Boop. There we go. I'm just kind of encouraging and poking that in. Camping! Ooh, furniture repair and replace. Father-son duo from their home. Dad has been a upholsterer for 43 consecutive years, teaching the son the family craft all in Spanish. I don't know Spanish, but I don't care. It's nothing short of awesome. That's amazing. When do they typically stream? I'll have to check them out. Philly says, I've missed you. Hey, Philly, how's it going? I came in just in time to hear a day without rubbing things in our eye holes, right? May you never spill your glitter. May you never rub polymer clay softener in your eyes. May the beads always be a bargain. We went shopping for camping food today. My sister's making her cowboy beans. She wanted to bring some Texas to the camp. Oh, that's amazing. Where is Randy? Randy is upstairs, I think, playing Final Fantasy IX. That poor man deserves a vacation, and so I'm letting him have one. I'm like, babe, go play. And so I think that's what he's doing. I hope that's what he's doing. I miss him. Haven't seen him since like 2 o'clock. That's forever ago. Oops. There he is. Can we pick you up with the paintbrush? No. Okay. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep this going on here. Let's try smoothing it out, because if I hate it, we can always just gut it and do it again. So Actually, let me try, and before smoothing that out, let me try doing this number where we just would pack. We can test out how it looks smoothed out up here. We've got some more of those little strips cut. And so we can just take that, kind of cram it into the thing. Yeah, good thing we'll be in the outdoors. Thank you, Loki. Is it like cowboy candy? Oh, that's gonna be awesome. But yes, 100%, we're gonna look just like that scene in Blazing Saddles where they're all eating beans and just farting up a storm. I wonder if it keeps mosquitoes away. All right, so now I'm gonna test out just blending in that gap. And I'm starting by pressing with our tool just to make sure that it really gets into those nooks and crannies. Now my fear is that this won't be a very good mask for making a mold of because of all of these like undercut areas, but really fear has no place in creativity. Fear is an ocean. How does it go? Fear is an ocean as far wide as the eye can see, and it's only an inch deep. So you just have to take that step into it and not be afraid. Do not let fear and creativity manage your decisions. It's good to take into consideration, it's like, oh, could this be a bad thing for, is there too much of an undercut here for making it into a mold? I don't know, but it lets me know where to keep an eye on, but I shouldn't let that fear stop me from action. Okay, so now that we have fleshed that out just a smidge, I'm going to come through, and this is going to seem counterintuitive, but where's my little thing that goes like, so we've smushed all that in, and now I'm just going to come and remove a little bit of that material. You're bringing some as well. Every night will be pretty colors. Philly says, I was poking around looking for happy things yesterday, looking for things on your channel. You've been out working, so good to find you today. Thank you, Philly. Thank you for coming by and hanging out. Ooh, some fire color packets. At least it'll be pretty fire farts. Yes. Great. Okay, so we're gonna have to have the second annual competition of the Funky Flames to see which brand works best, because I can't remember what brand it was that worked best last year, but I do think it was the ones that Michelle and Edwin brought. But we have 2 different types of Funky Flames today, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited about the camping trip. I don't know how many times I'm going to make y'all listen to me say that, but so excited. Wow, much excitement. This is just, it's like a little wire loop that is just removing some of the material, and that way we can get, I wanted to smooth out that undercut because that's what I'm afraid wouldn't mold well, but I still want there to be a little bit of depth there, because I'd like to paint this mask to be this color. Got a little bit of clay on me. Hey Elisa, how's it going? So this just looks like a regular old pigment, right? Until you smear it on some clay, and then it's a purple green chameleon color shift. And if we do that over, I want to do a mixture of colors on the base of this, like black and purple and like maybe dark green, and then go over it with this. That way, like, I think it'll give it a really cool iridescence, like shimmer look. And so I'm definitely going to be leaving those little peas in a pod there. But it just has me wondering where the heck my paintbrush went. There we go. If I don't know if I like this better. Yeah, I think I like that better. That kind of smoother look. Okay. Let me smooth out up here too, and then we'll kind of decide how we want to do this. If we want to do more dots or what. And this is just has some of that liquid polymer clay in it, and it's just pulling and softening out those tool lines. I gotta go get that other mask out of the oven, y'all, before I burn it. I'll be right back. And today, oh, I forgot to put it on a cookie sheet. Today I'm just gonna take it out and set it on the stove, and if it explodes, it explodes. Hopefully it doesn't explode, that'd be nice. No explosion is good explosion. There we go. And now, oh, that's looking so cool. Okay, I'm going to leave it there to cool, and then I'll show it to y'all in a bit. But surely that was at least 20 minutes, right? Ooh, Philly says we went camping for almost 3 weeks, 7 days at 2 hearted campgrounds on Superior. That sounds amazing, Philly. I hope the weather was good and everything. Bye, Hawk. We'll see you Friday. Drive safe. Elisa says, everything is going great. I'm watching from the Netherlands, and it's getting late, exactly midnight now, but I want to watch a little more. Right on. Oh, Cindy, I guess I missed it. Where is Randy? Oh, he's upstairs. I'm sorry. I thought I'd answered y'all. He's upstairs playing his video game. Just having a day off. Michelle says that does sound amazing, but I would need a camper. Yeah, that's all right. There's Randy and I kind of want to get one of those plus sign tents that has like, oh, it's so cool. And I think I could camp in one of those for 2 weeks if the weather held out, like, is the biggest thing. Okay. Smoothing. Do. Let's put a little bit more of that rubbing alcohol. Right over here, just a bit. Boop. No, that was a bunch. Okay. Cindy says, I'm going to try the softener. Right on. Let me know how it goes. Let me get some of that. There we go. Not that it's a competition or anything, but I might be one of the slowest sculptors in the world. Certainly not the fastest, that's for darn tootin'. But I tell you what, though, I'm just enjoying the process, and sometimes it's okay to take all day and just enjoying yourself and making a project. And that's something I haven't given myself the luxury of in a long time. Like, to give myself all day to work on a project and to not even worry about whether or not it's good. To just let myself craft and be creative and have fun. Okay, so that one, that's as smooth, probably as smooth as going to get for me. And now just coming in, smushing with that. seems like we could use just a little bit more. I'm going to take what we removed from the other side. It's Michigan, so weather was great. Crossed the bridge, 80 degrees. Got it by Superior, 60 degrees. Cold, wet, and rainy. Next day, beautiful. So you got to have all of the weather. Okay, says, I want to go camping close enough to my house that I can walk home if I change my mind. That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. Now, I lived at a campground for 3 years as a kid, and it was not glamping. Definitely not glamping. And that's okay, because I loved it. But getting to go camping in the woods now as an adult, where like we've gotten to invest over the past like 20 years in like what I consider like really nice camping gear. Like I don't care about brands or anything like that. What I care about is if it does what it's supposed to do well and lasts. And we seem to have found some pretty good gear over the years. It's really helped to have some friends who are into camping who have good recommendations as well. But it's just there's no beating testing out and trying and finding what works for us. And that's what we've been able to do over the years. So now going camping feels like, I don't know, like a royal caravan from like the Dothraki in Game of Thrones. Like it's, or like it's just, it is such a fantasy made reality whenever we go glamping now. And I love like our air mattress and like our tent and getting to have like sleeping cots are really nice, but we got the Titan XL sleeping cots because cots don't deflate. But if you sit on the edge of them, it completely like breaks it. So, but it's like $10 for the replacement part. So we always keep a replacement piece. But I always end up in Randy's cot as well. And because I want to snuggle, like that's the point of camping, is like to enjoy each other in a different environment other than just being at home. And so Randy and I go the route of air mattresses, and what made us do the final decide on that is it takes up significantly less space in our van to bring 2 air mattresses. We've got our main air mattress and then our backup one. That way, when the main air mattress decides to fail on us, we have a safety net. But it takes up, bringing 2 air mattresses takes up less space than bringing one of the cots. And that's not even including like the cot pad and stuff. But I am really glad that we have the cots now though, because, if we ever like have our own property and host, like we'd be able to set up some extra beds, or if we ever invite friends to go camping and they're solo, then, we put them on the cot. Oh, wow. Loki says, I camped one night and just below freezing. Being off the ground made such a difference. It really does. Oh my gosh, it really does. Pretty Cute says, good night, everyone. We'll think of you while we're camping. Pretty Cute. Saving up for another time to catch all of you. Night, night, Pretty Cute. Ooh, Elisa says, where do you get your ideas from? I love the mask. I wanted to make like an octopus mask, like for Halloween. And this was the prototype. So it's, I don't know. I'm inspired very much by nature a lot and by other artists on like Instagram and the TikTok. I love fantasy, whether it's, literature or art or music, or a lot of the times it's just, I don't know. I get ideas and I'm like, oh, I gotta make it. And then we do. And then I love it. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta make it again. And we've been doing that since like 2008. So hubby bought an old RV that he loves, but I am scared to go anywhere with him in it. It scares me just to see him drive it. He goes places, I stay home. Oh, I get that. I get that. But adventure. I saw the U.S. from the back windows of a VW camper, all but 4 U.S. states. Saskatchewan. I did not pronounce that correctly. Saskatchewan? 2. That's awesome. Now this side didn't take nearly as long. And now we get to decide, do I want it smooth or do I want texture? Because I love texture. Let's see. Got some freeform air. I'm so bad about, like, I'll tell myself I'll only use these tools on freeform air and I'll only use these tools on polymer clay. And then I don't follow my own rules. So let's see, because this added texture, I think this might be the route that I go, because the stippling is going to, whenever we go over it with an antique, like an acrylic paint wash, where anywhere that it's stippled is going to hold on to more of that pigment, and it's going to give us more depth and contrast. So we'll see though. Oops, bumping my head on the tripod. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. Okay. So I think I'm actually gonna just like bloop, take off that middle bump, just because I loved it. It was the perfect size. And then I'm just gonna blend this in. Because if we don't let ourselves play and experiment and make mistakes, there's no such thing as a mistake when you're playing. Like when we were kids, I don't know about y'all, but when I was a kid and I was playing with my dolls or like eating crayons in my coloring book, never once was I like, oh, I did that wrong. It's like, no, I was just having fun. And at some point, something changed and I started, oh, I did that wrong. Gotta erase it, and it's like, there's a time and a place for trying to be perfect and trying to, well, not trying to be perfect, but just trying to, achieve what you're shooting for, what you're working towards. But I think there should be just as much time and place for just playing with yourself, like in the craft room, just hanging out, seeing what happens. Like, hey, what happens when I smush the clay this way? Do I like it? Do I not like it? Just fool around and find out. We tried in the air mattress last year and it was cold and deflated, so we bought some like folding camp chair cots, and we have a mattress topper and one of our old ones for the doggies. Oh, that'll be nice, Michelle. Oh, itinerary. What's an itinerary builder? Billy says we have a camper. It's 22 us old. Tent camping is in our past. Health does permit. Nah, no internet, barely phone. Gotcha. Yeah, we're gonna stick to tent camping for as long as we can. And part of it is to motivate ourselves to stay able, because it's like we spend a lot on this gear. I want us to still be able to use it. But I don't know if I'll ever get Randy aboard on the concept of RVs, but I love them. But he is right that they are very expensive and a lot of work and hard to drive and like dangerous. And it seems to be like both of our conceptions. Oh, 22 years old. Gotcha. Right on. I've seen some really nice kind of refurbished older models, like 20 to 30-year-old models, that it's just I keep hearing they don't make them like they used to in regards to RVs. Okay, so just trying to get that smoothed out. And again, I'm gonna kind of come over here and do that same thing on the other side. Okay. And so, whoops, here you can see I have some buildup of material on my tool. I just rub it into this lump of extra clay. bumping my face on the tripod again. So yeah, I'm just going to come in and kind of scrape out a little bit of that material. We can always add more in, but oh, that looks so neat. Ooh, I caught it. And boom. That was going to get so nasty if it fell on the floor. Okay. So let's see. So now we can kind of scrape and rub and smush around. It is mischievous clay. It's the gravity that's out to get me is what it is. All right. There's my paintbrush. Getting some more of that 99% isopropyl alcohol on it. And let's get this smoothed out. And so again, a big point of doing this is if y'all saw in like last week's live stream, I was stress testing this and a couple of the tentacles kind of lifted off. And so while I hope no one will be bending our masks in half the way that I was abusing them. But if they were to, I think that this will help in making it all be very well bonded. Oh, and it's just so satisfying to run the brush through like the details and the swirls and things. And I'm not worried about getting it like super smooth perfect because we're going to be coming through and poking it to make some of that texture. Billy says, it weighs a bit much, so a truck is necessary to pull it. We haven't changed the inside. It's comfy, short bed. My husband's feet really hang off. Oh, really? Oh, no. That's awesome, though. Ooh, the tall-sounding tales about uncles is true. Can't imagine riding country road in cold mornings in Sweden on a seat like the triangle ones with the 2 springs, no advanced suspension, frame, engine, and minimalist seat. Beautiful country you have here, like... Okay, so now coming through, doing just a little bit of a stippling. Yeah, I think that's going to be very cool. Or not, we'll see. Either way, I'm excited. Okay, and now we have this little shaped, no, it was this one. This little shaped bloop right there. Like a little boop on the snoot. And then I'm going to roll this out and maybe we'll do in half again. And then I'm going to roll it. And then I'm going to go like boop. Oh, yes. And then we're going to go like boop. Typically, I do not feel like less is more, but this is an instance where I'm like, yeah, okay, less is more. This is okay. Oh. Do a nice little bit of a stretch. So I'm really pleased with this. So now, knowing that that's the route that I want to take, we can just come in here and I'm going to cram these little pieces all up in here. We won't have to use as much of the liquid clay, which I'm okay with because it's kind of leaking everywhere on me. But we can just kind of press this in to fill that gap. Riding old tractors, right? Oh, that's amazing, Loki. And so I'm just kind of cramming these in. I may have to redo the little dots in the centers there. That's okay. If that's what's necessary, then that's what's necessary. But we learn by doing. We don't. It's sometimes I almost could laugh at myself for how silly it is whenever I go in thinking, oh, I'll get it and it'll be right the first time and I won't have to do a bunch of modifications. Because it's like, really, what's the fun in that? Like, I like the experimenting. I like the finagling around until I find what's perfect, what feels perfect, or what, whatever. Okay, I'm going to roll this out. Because again, if we add too much or too little, we can always add more. Oh, that looks so cool. Do you see how it's like got kind of rolled in there? Oh, it doesn't pick up on the colors the way that the eyeballs show, but that's cool. Okay, so now again, I'm just going to take our sculpting tool and we'll start just cramming and blending it in. Yeah, bye-bye little cute nub that was right in the middle. We will add another one of that here in a bit. But yeah, by already having these little like tentacles already baked, I can press as hard as I want. I can squish and smooth and push our material around, and I don't have to worry about distorting our whole mask. And I feel like, if we were sculpting with monster clay, you can let it cool and it will add resistance like the clay will, but the monster clay is a wax based, so it's never cured to done. And I kind of wanted to be able to keep the originals that I sculpt. That way, if it is something that's worth making, like if it's a good enough mask to make a mold of, to make replicas, I'd like to keep the original and sell the replicas. And that way, if we ever need to make a new mold, I have the original still. And part of that comes from, as an artist, I'm not going to be able to create everything that I want to make for my whole life. My eyesight's already failing me. I'm almost legally blind in my left eye. Pretty sure I have arthritis and all that good stuff. And it's just, these things happen. I'm not lamenting it, but I am preparing for it. And so if one day, as a retirement to myself, if we were able to have like a whole bunch of masks that I've sculpted my whole career, and then if we could just sell casts of them, like replicas or however it is that we do it, well, that seems more viable than hoping that I can keep wire wrapping at the rate that I've been wire wrapping for the past, like through my 20s, or weaving chainmail. So making something that's replicable would be really cool. It's not going to be the only thing that we do, but it would be nice to have something to pass on to Maddie or Abby as well, our nieces, that if they wanted to take over the business, they could continue to make casts of our original masks. So fun to live in the present, but fun to build something for the future too. Or it might all just amount to nothing but having fun on a Monday. And I'll take that too. Loki says, when you unexpectedly have a product hit big with repeat customers, sure is nice to have a template to turn to meet the demand. That would be amazing, actually. Yeah. So voice of experience there for you too, Loki. That's awesome, having a template that you've worked out. And so blending. Yo, I love sculpting so much. Like, I just want to pet it with a stick. Like, and that's kind of what, just like, but blending it smooth, it is very, very satisfying. I think I want to be a sculptor when I grow up. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, the stuff. Oh, we're going to have to, okay. Time to blend this one. Wow. Loki says 10 days ago had a custom order for 6 matching flare end coffee teaspoons. Template saved me. Oh, Loki, that's awesome. Congratulations on your success too. That's a big deal getting, I don't know, anytime I get an order, I'm like, woo! So that's awesome. Sculpting gives me hope that the clay of ourselves can be sculpted through patience and diligence and discipline and enthusiasm, and that sometimes we try to fit ourselves into molds. Maybe I can only speak for myself, but sometimes life shaves away clay from places that you didn't want, to be shaved away. We'll lose little parts of ourselves, or we'll start getting, oops, over here, or whoopsie over there. And so to be able to physically sculpt something kind of makes me think about how what we can do here physically, we can do internally with ourselves as well. And so it gives me hope that I can build back up the parts of myself that life has worn away, that I can reshape the things that I'm not pleased with, and that I can do it in a way that feels fun and magical and enjoyable. And so sculpting is a reminder to me that things that are worth doing are often hard and take way more work than what you had thought, and don't always go the way that you planned, but that it's still worth it. And that sometimes the best thing isn't the perfection that you were hoping for, but the accident that you're like, oh, that came out so cool. So do you think spray starch will work on faux leather? What are you trying to do? Is going to be my first question, because my answer is I don't know if starch would work, because I think the starch, whenever I'm using it on like a fabric and it permeates the fabric and it stiffens the like weave or whatever's going on, like it stiffens the fibers of the fabric. Whereas with faux leather, I don't know if that would, if it would absorb, like if the starch would permeate it. Like, you know what I mean? The upside down view gives me butterfly vibes. Oh, we're going to have to make a butterfly mask. Oh, Roberta, I love that. Oh, we're going to have to make butterfly masks, you guys. I wanted to make one that's like a barn owl with like big moth wings. Okay, it's time. I've got to go. We will see y'all next time. Sorry, I don't mean to, just trying to stiff it up. Gotcha. Friends or family in my Etsy shop yesterday. Oh, congratulations, Kitty Mama. She says, I just got my first order, not from friends or family, on my Etsy shop yesterday. It took 6 months to happen. Never give up. Never surrender. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I really enjoyed getting to work on these masks together. We will see y'all in tomorrow's unboxing video, and then we will see y'all at the camp along. Oh my god. So I think that's it. We'll see y'all next time. Send me an email if you have any questions about anything, and happy crafting. Bye bye. I gotta click the button. Okay, bye bye, y'all.